you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patent it. Being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, getting slow, getting fast, I can roast, I can gas, think I'm okay and last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. It's mysterious because you are behind the fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last. That you believe in what you got, it was built to last. Yeah. Now that I'm in the I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Kinda learn the consequence, any competence. Mental health is confidence, dreams is a modest. There's something I should let it take away. I could play a million mind games, but it's so to say. Something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go. Make yourself unstoppable. Think you're irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you can be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going on with my meds. So I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I'm gonna make it to the top, taking off and going. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I never separated. The taking, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I done made it through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Oh, okay. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in tonight. Welcome. I do not have my chat up because actually I was loading up some videos, and so that's why I was a couple minutes behind, because I was gonna one second. All right, yeah, so I have these loaded up and ready to go. We're going to be looking at some clips, and we're going to be looking at some footage of Eric's story when he called the deal off and blamed the Whitakers for everything and took all the money with his buddies, telling the Amish story. And then we're going to show the story that he's saying now. Now that he didn't get Timmy, the deal fell apart, he's under investigation, and the police don't believe his Amish story. So he's had to change it up a little bit. So we're going to be looking at those two stories. And anyway, let me get into the chat and say hi to everybody. Now, I do have a full charge on my battery tonight, which is good. Should last a couple hours at least. Oh, shoot. All right. So, let me say hi to everybody. We got some thumbs up. That's good. Thank you for the thumbs up. Off to a good start. My cat is clawing up the, hold on a second. The cat is clawing up my cardboard box, so that's the noise that you hear. If you'll have us, let's see. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get back. All right, I got the chat up now. Let me go back to the start. And anyway, good to see everybody tonight. So welcome to Red Frog. Red Frog comes in first, and I hope the sound is okay. Let me know if there's too loud or too quiet or anything. I think I learned what was happening with the static. The static is coming from my headphones, and it's the second pair that it happened to, and I think I know why. Because every time I get done using my headphones, and I use them all day long, and every time I'm done, I wrap the cord up. I wrap it and wrap it and wrap it, and then I, tag it, and then I hang it up on a hook. And I think I'm wrapping the cord hundreds of times. I think I'm wrecking it. I just like to have it neat and tidy, so I wrap the cord up all the time, and I think that's what's wrecking my headphones. So I might have to just be sloppy and let the cord hang. Anyway, I'm learning, and that's the second pair of headphones that got the cord wrecked. And yeah, I think it's wrapping up too many times. So anyway, so good evening to Red Frog, Miss January, Tina, Nazreen. Are you still on vacation? Hello to Nazreen and Trinidad, if you're still there. Miss January, Tina, say it out loud. Florida life in the sun. And thank you for hitting that like button. Appreciate that. Not my monkeys. Hey, y'all, night owls. Let's do it. Yeah, I just had a nap. Earlier, I had a nap, and then I got up and fed all the animals, and I think I'm ready to go. I got up early, and I had to get up early because we went and did some fun stuff today. So anyway, went and did some fun stuff, and then I did some shopping, and went to some thrift stores and grocery shop and all that stuff. So it's kind of worn out. This old lady got worn out. Hanging around with those 50-year-olds, you know what I mean? Wearing me out. Can't keep up with them. All right. And yeah, so anyway, and thank you, moderators, for moderating. As always, I thank you. Tie-dye Gammy, good to see you tonight. Welcome. A storm here? Oh, well, if you disappear, we'll pray for you. Anyway, I hope this storm passes quickly. You know what I saw today? Speaking of thrift store, it was a sign that said, life is not about, wait, what did it say? Just something like, life is not about the storm. It's about dancing through the rain or something like that. There's some really good stuff we saw today. I got a couple things, but also there was so funny. It was a T-shirt, and it said, if I say that's crazy more than twice, it's time to wrap your story up. Oh man. Anyway, so we went out and about and went places I'd never been before, so that was fun. You fell asleep again last night? Well, I'll try to keep you awake. And if you do fall asleep, that's kind of a compliment too. I should do those videos that people go to sleep by. That's a weird noise. That is a weird noise. Oh, it's a tractor going down the road in the dark. That is really bizarre. Don't laugh at it. Yeah, I know. It's nobody. Don't worry. It's not like they're dragging something. It's a dirt road, so it was loud. Anyway. And good evening to Tina and David and Nancy. And there you go. Dance away. It's not just not enlightened. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hello to everybody. Good to see you. So yeah, we're gonna. Oops. I think I say crazy more than once during our lives? Or is it that, hey, Toddy's, yeah, you're safe. It's Toddy's lives. I know, that was a weird noise. I get it. It sounds like they're dragging a vehicle down the road or something. It's crazy. And I heard it from coming a long ways away, too. I know all the dogs are looking at all the dogs are staring at the security monitors. They're like, what was that? That's what they do when they hear something. They come and look at I got a gigantic TV with security monitors on it. They come and look at the monitors. And they're staring. Yeah, it's nothing, you guys. They're gone. Yeah, so if you say, wow, that's crazy, more than twice, it's time to move on with your story. My kitten keeps up and down most of the night. You've been tired? Yeah. They are like gremlins. They're crazy after midnight. Well, hello, Trinidad. Greetings from the United States. Now, Jane, what's the weather like there? That's a good question. That's a good question. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your vacation, Nazarene. All right, let me see here. I'm going to turn my volume down. Let me shut this off, and then we're going to go over to some clips. And by the way, we're going to use a clip from Sarah Little's channel because she's got a few of these. I do have these clipped, but I don't really have them. Oh, look, my icon is white. What in the heck? All right, we're going to have to get rid of that. So, yeah, we're going to go over some clips, and we're going to go over the story before and the story after. Because, yeah, the police aren't buying his story. And, you know, these guys, I gotta be honest. These guys, Eric and Mark Douche, cannot get their story straight. They're probably the worst of the two. And it seems like they have an ego clash with each other. They both have to be right in any way, and it doesn't work good if they're trying to collaborate, you know, a narrative and stuff. So they're very hot. I could have guessed it was very hot there. I was going to say it, but I thought that would be obvious. You're your best in town, so we've been fishing the last few nights and missed several lives. Oh, well, I'm happy for you that you're having good fishing fun with your friend, your bestie, and I think that's more important, probably. You can always replay my videos later, but yeah, that's good, though. That's awesome. Oops, I better shut this off. It's starting to go haywire. So, where are we at? Here we got, so if you go to Sarah Little's channel, and that is, she is Eric's ex, and the mother of Eric's child, Eric's youngest child. And she's got some, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to show you her channel. I am getting this tonight's clip off of her channel because she's got at least two live streams of Eric's in their entirety. And I would have gotten more in their entirety. I was really busy categorizing clips and categorizing subjects and all that stuff and trying to organize it. But she's got a couple of these, and hold on, I don't want these cats up here. And so, oh wait, here it is. There. So, no kid, into this. All right, let's pull this up. So first, we're going to go over the. First, we're going to go over the original story. And then we're going to go over the story that he told after the heat came on him and the police investigated him and they told him that his story doesn't make any sense. or whatever they told him. They said, but in a roundabout way, basically, Eric and his friend Mark confessed that West Virginia police don't believe their Amish story. And, well, that's good. That's a relief, okay? I hope at this point they don't believe any of their stories. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me see. So here we are. I'm going to show you real quick. This is Sarah Little's channel. She, let me show you real quick. Sarah Little. Actually, I didn't even tell Grace I was going live, and she texted me, so I don't know if she knows I'm live or not. Hold on a second. So, I suppose I should check the chat real quick. So this is Sarah Little's channel. If you want to go subscribe, she's got a lot of Eric's clips. She's got some of her she's got some of her own stuff. She's got her story on there. She's got a lot of, I should probably, ouch. All right, hold on a second, guys. I gotta get rid of this kitten. I can't take it anymore. All right. You just don't take a clue, do you? Bye-bye. Yeah, there's one. That one just wouldn't take no for an answer. All right. Got me good in the, hooked me with this fish hook claw in my side. Right in my side. All right. So, anyway. We're going to start here. But let me just check the chat real quick before I, oops. Okay, my icon turned color now, so hopefully it's all right. Oh, now it's going to cry out there on the porch. Oh, man, I can't live with these kittens there. All right. All right. You'll never get any trolls that need taken out. They know to stay their own lane up on your channel. Yeah. Yeah. We always give them a warning. Unless it's really bad. If it breaks the terms of service, if they're like anything racist or too vulgar and all that kind of stuff, they can get blocked. But now over the years, on occasion, I have pardoned the turkeys on Thanksgiving, just like the president does. So sometimes I will unlock everybody out of the block list. That's fun. And yeah, Flatline. Yeah, it's been going on for a long while. That's right. And you know what? Earlier I was getting the clip. I was getting the exact timestamp that I'm going to use tonight. And while I was listening, Eric was bringing up that kid, the burned kid, and he said, "Yeah, I raised $175,000 for that kid." And then he said, when I gave them the money, then they got the insurance or something like that. Like, wait a minute, 175,000, and why is everybody saying he didn't give that money? It's good that you give. Yeah, I do, tie-dye. I pardon the turkeys on Thanksgiving. Kind of like the president, except like hundreds at a time. No, I don't think I got hundreds. We don't have a whole lot of people in the block list. We do everything not to block somebody. Usually, Grace will give them a warning. The mods can give them a warning. And, just to not do something. And if they keep it up, or if anybody doxes, if you see anybody coming in with somebody's name or address or anything like that, that's an instant block. So, but yeah, pardon the turkeys on Thanksgiving. So if you're blocked, just wait. On Thanksgiving, you might get pardoned by the governor. Yeah, it's gonna get. I think he's gonna get what's coming to him too. As long as you don't drop the turkeys like WKRP. I don't remember that episode. I used to watch that show though. Lonnie Anderson was from Minnesota. She's actually was from Roseville, Minnesota, and I used to live over by there, and I used to work over by there. And so, yeah, she's from Roseville, Minnesota, which is, you know. It was like Roseville was basically built like in the 50s or something. They're all cookie cutter homes. I can't say all of them, but I worked in a lot of those homes. And turkeys don't fly. Oh, what did they drop them and hope they were going to fly? Well, I don't know. Turkeys do fly up in the trees at night. That's where they sleep. We got herds of turkeys around here. I mean, herds of them all over the place. Wild turkeys, and usually when I go up the road, I'll see a couple wild turkeys. And at night they fly up into the trees. That's where they sleep, up in the trees, so they don't get predators. Don't get them. A big event from a plane. They drop the turkeys. Yeah, I don't think they can fly like that kind of fly. They can get up in a tree. I think that's about it. That's like their survival stuff. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I used to watch that show. It's kind of a strange show, but we didn't have a lot of choices back then. What are you gonna do? So anyway, you have a bunch of wild turkeys around there too. Yeah. If the apocalypse happens or something, in the World War III or something. Nobody around here is gonna starve. Yeah, there's a lot of, and they're so ugly. It's like you barely even feel bad killing them. You know what I mean? Less been made than good news for yours. Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. It's been a long time since I heard WKRP. I haven't had a TV in over 10 years, about 10 years now. So I don't even know about the reruns. All right, you come back in, but you don't jump on the desk. All right. Now I did buy a super soaker to keep the cats off the counters and stuff, and it goes 30 feet. But it's too overkill for the top of my desk. Now I've trained them to stay off the counters and stuff with my 30-foot super soaker. Works good too. Woo! And then I felt bad because I felt bad for getting them wet, but it works. They learn very quickly. If you say no, they don't do it. So I give them now one no, and after the one no warning, super soak. So they're getting pretty good. But yeah, I felt bad because I got one of them. Yeah, I got one of them really wet, and I felt kind of bad. But they won't listen. But now they listen. And anyway, I'm thinking of getting a little tiny squirt gun for my desktop version. I have a small spray bottle. Yeah, I do. I have a spray bottle. I got a brand new one. I haven't even used. That's what I should use. Yeah, spray bottle. Screw this. Buying something else. I have a squirt gun too to keep the cat from scratching. Yeah. Yep, it's harmless. It doesn't hurt them. And water just dries them. I usually don't wreck anything. But yeah, it's a good training tool. But yeah, I should get. I just bought some 2 brand new squirt bottles for cleaners. Yeah, but it really works. So yep. Because, man, these kittens are a little out of hand. You know what I mean? Anyway, they're just kittens being kittens, doing kitten stuff. So I can't really get mad. All right. So, I guess before we even get into the clips, let's look at something. Keeps him away from the pet. Well, there you go. Yep. Yep. Works good. But yeah, Super Soaker is really something. 30 feet. And from here to the counter, it is about 30 feet. About 25 feet. So, yeah, it's about 25 feet. And so it reaches the counter right from sitting right here. And that's the way it's got to be. Anyway. And then no hard feelings. You know what I mean? Just this is the way it is. All right. So yeah, before we get into this, let's check this out. Before we get into this Amish stuff and their BS Amish stories, let's remind ourselves that Robert Mass, the big hero that needed to come along and leave his wife, 80-year-old wife with a broken hip and titanium plates in her body, leave her at home to run and go get get in on this Whitaker stuff, right? And but we have to remind ourselves that Robert Mast has a son, not just the one that was killed. He's got another son, and his name is Samuel. Right, this is Robert Mast's son, and this is remember that Robert Mast Foundation or John Mast Foundation, whatever. This had Eric on the board. I can't remember if he's on the board of directors or what, but whatever. Eric was on this foundation, and apparently, allegedly, the story goes is that Eric was soliciting funds and donations to go over to put into this Robert Mast's son, John Mast Foundation. But being on the board, some of that money went back into Eric's pocket, allegedly. So this has been a money thing. You know what I mean? It's been but anyway, so now if you look up the John Mast Foundation, it's gone. It says the site's been removed. I've heard different stories about why. If you ask why is John Mast Foundation removed now, why is it shut down? One person said that he owes taxes from last year and whatever on the thing. I don't even know. Another person said that it was shut down and it has to do with the lawsuit, his civil suit or something. I don't know. I don't know why. I have no idea why it was shut down, but it was shut down. So anyway, so I do have this though. No, you can't come up here either, ma'am. I do have this, so I recorded this Samuel Mast thing, and I think somewhere I do have the whole web page. I know I do. I did a video about it, and so I do have a video with the whole page on it. But this is Samuel Mast. Now, guess what he does for a living? Or well, he does one of the things he does for a living. He builds log homes. All right. Here it is. Remember that John Mast Foundation? Well, you can't find this anymore. You know, and my first thought and why it was gone is because this don't look good. Because they're under investigation, right? At least we know Eric is under investigation, and the police have told Eric and his friend Mark that they're not buying his Amish story. So I thought that him removing this foundation page has something to do with that investigation, because this doesn't look good. Why are they running around the country like idiots looking for an Amish bishop to make a secret cheese deal with to build the cabin, log house for the Whitakers, when number one, they didn't need to have a log home. It's ridiculous. But number two, Kayla! But number two, you know, not only but his own son builds log cabins, right? And the reason I'm going to bring this up is because, hold on a second. I got something. Yeah. So they're running around state to state looking to make this, and they literally, Dwayne called it the Hail Mary of Hail Marys when they were able to have the Amish agree to build this house. Now that's insanity. It's insanity. As Jeff would say, it's insanity. Because any builder wants people to call them. I've never heard of a company, any company in the world that that you have to go through this secret ritual and impress the owner in order to be a customer. It's ridiculous. But it says John Mass Foundation. All right. Years later, the family made another move, this time to join a new community forming in Libby, Montana. There, Samuel started working for a local company, putting prefabricated log home kits together. Even though construction was new to him, he was leading a prefab. Let's keep going. I was trying to hurry up and record this before they took it down. He was leading the prefab. Okay, so right here. All right. In 2003, he presented the idea of forming a commercial roofing company to a few of his brothers. Again, despite not having any experience in the commercial roofing space, he lunged into it true to his entrepreneurial drive. Today, the recognitions on his office wall affirm heart of excellent customer care. So he was in the log business company, and if you look him up, Samuel Mast, and I think he's in Montana, and it is funny because they've mentioned Montana and they've mentioned Idaho. I'm talking about Eric and his friends, and they could have just had Robert Mast could have just gotten his son to hook him up. You know what I mean? Whether he still builds log homes or not really doesn't matter. Robert Mast could have called up his own son and said, "Hey, can you recommend us to somebody who builds logs homes, because since you were in the business and all that, could you direct us or talk to somebody about building the Whitakers a home?" That's how simple this would have been. I mean, but instead of just Robert Mast going to his own son, so I think that they took down that foundation. I personally do, because I think they're being investigated, or probably because of this investigation. But I don't know. Like I said, I've heard other claims why it was taken up. But so obviously there are two stories. We're going to listen to the first story first. Again, this is on Sarah Little's channel. And she's got the whole Friday. And this is Friday, September 5th. This is the day that he saw the tweaky fingers. And in the morning, it started out, yeah, the Amish have agreed. And by evening, it was, screw the Whitakers. They're crooks. The deal's off. I'm taking the money and I'm going home. And now, mind you, we got to also remind ourselves, not only did Robert Mast's own son build log homes and could have just, hooked them up, if they, and the whole idea of a log home is as dumb as it gets, because nobody in the holler needs $1 million home. And I'm going to tell you, do you know what the taxes would be on that $1 million home? And do you know what the upkeep would be on that $1 million home? They're talking solar panels, heated floors. Now, they did pull back on the heated floors at the last day. Actually, later, months later, in one of these videos, they did retract. Well, okay, it wasn't going to be heated floors. Like, okay, oh man. But anyway, yeah. So this bunch of nonsense. So impractical. Like I said, there's no way the Whitakers could afford to upkeep $1 million log home every year. Like I said, just the taxes alone, nobody would be able to pay those down there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can't imagine what $1 million home. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. But, thousands and thousands of dollars. But also to heat a home like that, to heat that home. And the Amish do not use permits. Okay, they don't deal with permits. Guess what else? They don't deal with building codes. None of that. Guess what else? They won't have anything to do with electricity. So, I mean, what? Oh my goodness. Like, how dumb is this? And then, after I personally called all this out, how ridiculous this is. Oh, and not to mention clearing the land. He wants to put the house way back in the back 40. You know what it costs to clear the land and make a driveway and all that stuff? Oh my gosh. Anyway, ridiculous. And so, yeah, the upkeep, heating the house, and then he says it's going to have solar panels. Do you know what it takes to keep them solar panels? You got to check on them every day. They got to deal with the batteries. It's just like, well, you got to scrape the snow off the panels if it snows. Anyway, it's constant upkeep. So it's dumb. All of it's dumb. But yeah, that's what they came up with. And at this point, I feel like Eric felt invincible. I think Eric thought everybody was stupid. He can say anything and people will believe it. And I think he still kind of feels that way today. But he was overconfident in his bullshitting efforts. You know what I mean? His bullshitting skills. Because a lot of people saw this a mile away. It was impractical, stupid, and just a money grab. And then to find out that John's own son could have just handled this with a phone call. Now, I'd also want to, before we even start this, I want to get our bearings also on one more thing, because not only this video, the original story about the Amish, but the one that was just a couple months ago when they tried doing damage control, both of those, as in every video, Eric tries to make out the Whitakers to be these crooks, these thieves, these scammers. You know, he demonizes the Whitakers, lawbreakers, abusers of each other. And where does he come up with this scammer? Because these people were sitting on their porch minding their own. Okay, they're minding their own business, knowing that, hey, in this spring, Mark's going to come back. We'll get another boost of a little cash. And he's going to come. He's going to spend a few hours here, and he's going to leave again for 6 months. And we're going to get some money. And they were happy with that. Mark was coming about every 6 months. And during the summer, he'd come 2-3 times. And he'd always hook them up fat with some money. And that's what it was. Eric, unlike Eric, Mark would just come and he would, spend a couple hours, do what he's going to do, get his filming in, and make sure they had fun, did stuff they wanted to do, let them buy what they want, bring them to the fair. They can do anything they want. Money's no object. And then when he left, he always hooked them up fat, with some money. And that was it. Mark didn't ask anything else from them, and they didn't ask anything else from Mark. It was a one and done. And I don't know if Mark even spent more than a day out here filming with these people, but you damn sure if he did, he left. You don't know where he stayed, and when he came back, It was about business, filming, and then he left. But nonetheless, he would film and he would leave. Wasn't trying to turn anybody into the police or the adult protection or adopt any one of them. He knew they were happy, they were healthy. Um, that's what he saw. Yeah, their house is messy. Yes, it's, probably you go up and down that road and probably a bunch more you'd find like this. And listen, every area has houses like this. I personally have had to empty these houses out, sometimes with shovels, and I'm not even kidding, rakes and shovels. And it's just how they live, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, they're messy, but they're happy, they're healthy. They loved each other so much. They do love each other so much. And they're church going people. They are religious. If you notice, they're never drunk or drinking. Um, you've got BJ who's got some substance abuse problems, and she admitted it, which most people don't. And she's dealing with that. And so did her son, and he's dealt with it. And so, other than that, you don't see anything. You see, they do their snuff and their whatever. But that's about it. Nobody smokes cigarettes. They don't drink, and they go to church. And I was just listening to Mark Soft White Underbelly, one of their first videos, and when we went over there, I could hear that the book of Ephesians was in the back. I know a Bible. I know the Bible, and I know it was the book of Ephesians. It was playing really loud inside the house. A letter from Paul to the Ephesians, and it was so loud that after a little bit, Mark said, "Can you any way to turn that off?" But they had that blasting, they had Bible verses, they had the Bible blasting. So these people aren't out to scam anybody, anything like that. Eric came to them. Who got scammed? The Whitakers. Yet Eric points the finger at these guys as being the scammer, and his friend. You're going to see his friend Mark Escobar, that people call Douche. Mark Douche also is going to call these guys grifters. They're just a bunch of grifters. And then people actually were convinced that Erica's right. Larry and BJ and Betty need to move out. Like, wait, what the F are you talking about? You imagine somebody coming to your house and saying, you know what, your sister and her kid have to leave. Get your sister and her daughter out of here. Get your brother and his kid out of here. I know you've lived here for 50 to 75 years, but just they need to leave. I don't like what I'm seeing. And so, yeah, you're going to hear them call these guys drifters, crooks, implying that they're stealing money. And the truth of the matter is, to this day, the Whitakers never got a dime from Eric. They got $250 and a little bit of groceries and some snuff. The water bill got paid. Woohoo. And in the meantime, according to the police report, there's over $100,000 missing. What did they get in return? They got BJ got thrown in jail with a $500 bail, so they were out $500. So right there, they lost almost their whole water bill money. Had to go back, so they didn't even get ahead there. Larry got publicly humiliated with that and blackmailed over taking some gas after not being paid. So Eric and Patrick owe the Whitakers a crap load of money, and personally, Eric personally probably owes the Whitakers maybe 30, 40,000. I'm thinking, I don't even know. But if they're getting a third of the over the 100,000, you know what I'm saying? So they got nothing but crapped on, humiliated, called names, accused of things. They had their family broken up, and they didn't get a dang thing except some potato chips. And they have the nerve to sit there and call these people crooks and grifters. Grifters. Who came to who? And who owes who the money? Eric owes them the money, not the other way around. And they're talking about, and I saw him hand some money to the grandson. You know, screw you, because that wasn't obviously it wasn't any money of yours, and it wasn't any money that they even made because they never made any. So I don't know how he's got the nerve to call the Whitakers crooks and grifters when he took advantage of these people. And remember, according to Patrick's charges, these are incapacitated adults, okay? These are vulnerable adults. 3 of them are mentally challenged. 2 of them are senior citizens. They're all 5, according to the police, were vulnerable. So Eric took advantage of these, allegedly. He's being investigated for taking advantage of these 5 vulnerable people, robbing them, and on top of it, broke their family up, made smeared each one of them. And what were they doing? They were in their house, minding their business. So let's go over here as, of course, we're going to get into this Amish story, and we could get into the whole thing. But again, this is Sarah Little's channel. She's got this entire Friday, September 5th meltdown of the whole deal and everything. Oh, we saw BJ on the property. Deal's off. Well, there's nothing about that in the contract. So let's find the... now, this is a part where he's talking about this deal, and then his little friend Douche comes in. So let me see. Yeah, anyway, I'll speed this up if it... Oops, hold on a second. Oops, not that one.
I'm crazy, like...
Crazier than this?
Yeah. She might be finding out by watching me right now because I haven't talked to her yet.
You haven't had a chance, yeah. You've been...
Oh, he hasn't had a chance to talk to his wife about adopting Timmy. Shut the front door, Eric. She might be finding out right now about Timmy. Now, mind you, this is Friday. He just got told, no, you don't get Timmy. Betty told him no. Timmy said no, he don't want to go back to Georgia with you tomorrow. So remember, he lost it. He lost his mind. He was angry. He was screaming. He did all these videos that he deleted. But he was angry. I want Timmy. And then what did he say? I'm going to make some phone calls. So by the time he did this live stream Friday night, September 5th, the call was in to Adult Protection, and they were going to be taken on Monday. And he knows this. He knows it because he's been working with Adult Protection to what they call extract the 3 people, Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine. And right now, it's his little secret, him and his friend's little secret. Yeah, that Adult Protection's coming on Monday to take him away. He thinks they're going to hand Timmy over. Like a quarterback handing off to the running back. Here you go. Here's Timmy. Go home. Go to Georgia with him. But it didn't happen. But yeah. I'm missing my wife. Yeah, you've been gone a while. Yeah, she doesn't even know I'm going to adopt Timmy or whatever. Bullshit.
And you have that. You've been gone almost 2 weeks now.
You want to hear something crazy, like...
Crazier than this?
Yeah. She might be finding out by watching me right now because I haven't talked to her yet.
You haven't had a chance, yeah. You've been...
Yeah, right.
I don't know how to tell her.
And yeah.
I don't know how to tell her, dude.
Oh, you don't know how to tell her that he's not getting Timmy. That the deal's up. No, she already knows. They're in cahoots. Are you kidding?
It was like every day.
Yeah. Every time.
To help the family.
Every time he tries to help a family, something bad happens. Yeah, that means you should stop trying to help families because you're doing nothing but damage. Yeah, every time he tries to help a family, something bad happens. Remember, he didn't say this on his resume. He didn't, in that, when we met meet Eric and Patrick, he didn't tell us that every time he helps a family, something bad happens. He forgot to tell us that.
Yeah.
Always with the people that have the most potential.
And always with the people that have the most potential.
You've seen me with this, dude. You've seen me with this. This isn't my first rodeo. always the people with the most potential. And it's just,
I mean,
do the right thing, and good things will come. Work hard.
do the right thing.
Well, people, again, overly, they're very supportive.
Any questions?
They are asking about, what's your next move? What do you plan on leaving when you drop, Mark and Robert off at the airport? Are you gonna?
No, Mark was actually staying with me until I left.
And remember, him and Mark have been down on their own admission. Him and Mark have been down at the adult protection, at the coffee shop in the spare room, talking to adult protection. Mark said that he doesn't trust them. We went over this last night. They met adult. So at this point, it's their little secret. Him and Eric's been dealing with adult protection for weeks, if not months, about the Whitakers. But Mark has been there with Eric now at least once or twice. And he told the adult protection, first words out of his mouth he said was, "You killed my friend's husband. So if you make this right, we'll call it even." I'm not kidding. You saw it was last
Good
night.
friend right there. I haven't been able to do much content, so while we were waiting, we were going to do some videos and maybe spend some more time with Ray and Lorraine, but I would have somebody that could have videoed it, because I didn't have that before. There's a couple of douches. So.
There you go. Here's where douche got his name. He says there's a couple of douches in the chat. Because 5 minutes ago, Eric said, I know a lot of people have questions. Dwayne is saying, hey, people have questions. They don't understand what's going on. This morning the house is on. Today everything's off. The family's, whatever. Anyway, what happened? So, of course, everybody has questions. And Eric said, okay, tell us some questions, and as long as they're respectful, we'll answer them. And so Mark grabs the phone, and he's looking at the questions, all right? So he tells Mark to read a couple of the questions. What does Mark say? There's a couple of douches. and he calls people other names, too. Twice he calls them douches. That's why his name is Douche. Yeah. And so anybody who's asking questions is a douche. That's why he got his name. I didn't make it up. Right.
You know it? Because I didn't have that before. There's a couple of douches that said that we were only creating content instead of walking the property.
Okay, a couple douches said that we were only creating content instead of walking the property.
Mark saying where there was a couple of douchebags saying we were all.
A couple of douchebags. Mark said there's a couple of douchebags saying that we're just walking the property.
Making content, not walking the property by before crap. Go to Grayford Lane. It's a gravel driveway all the way up until that plate, and then it stops, and it is a grass path, and you will find that. And at the back of that is where the way the property goes. So ticks, chiggers, copperheads. Yeah, we were out there just about that.
Yeah,
copperheads.
copperheads.
We were out there just, I can make content about many other things. And then guess what, guys? Here's the thing. If you think this is about content, this is a soap opera right now.
It is a soap opera right now, and he made it a soap opera. He created this chaos all by himself. Well, him and Patrick. Patrick helped. Patrick was a useful idiot. Is the sound okay? Can you guys hear him okay? Hey, Kathy. Good to see you tonight. Is the sound? And hey, Mattis Hatter. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, Susan. Good to see you tonight. Yeah. So is the sound okay? I'll keep going. Oops. Dang it. Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
Letting BJ stay there and then letting them do whatever.
Letting BJ stay there. Again, these people have lived here. BJ's been there for 20 years. First of all, she grew up there. I think they were in North Carolina. They lived somewhere else for a little while. Then they moved back. So she's been back for 20 years. and they're angry that somebody is living on the property they've lived, their families lived their whole life.
Or they do. It would have been controversial. It would have been crazy. People on YouTube would eat it up. I'm not interested in that. I wanted to get the house. I wanted to do the right thing. We could have sat back and say, oh, yes, get the drama in here. Go steal some more telephone wires so we can, the next big drama video.
And this is stupid. We could have told her to go steal more copper wire. Like, wait, what? This is just a bunch of nonsense. Gaslighting bullshit to throw people off. Because this ain't looking good.
Yeah. Controversy creates cash. No, I'm not interested in that. I want Timmy to get home. And I want Timmy safe. All right. Now
Timmy has been safe, in my opinion. It looked like he's been safe his whole life until Eric showed up.
And I want Timmy safe.
Oh, Timmy got into a home, all right. It's not his, though.
All right. Now Timmy's not safe. And if Timmy's not going to be safe, I'm not in it. That's it.
That's his excuse to take the money and run. And as you can see, Dwayne is very uncomfortable. Dwayne can't even make sense of this. He's caught between the chat saying WTF with a bunch of question marks and Eric, his friend. So Dwayne is looking like a dumbass too, and he's probably under investigation himself.
We had a surveyor lined up. Mark was going to pay for the surgery.
That's funny. He was going to pay for it, and he also said that he already paid for it.
Met with him today. We had it all lined up. We got to go apologize to the Amish and everything.
He's got to go apologize to the Amish. And we're going to tell him that somebody that's lived there for 20 years was on their property when you went over there. I would like to know if Sam Chupp, the bishop in Parisburg, if anybody talked to him. Because this never happened.
Probably what my next plans are is trying to make people aware of they just screwed themselves.
His next plan is to make people aware that they screwed themselves. See, this makes it their fault. And how is it the Whitaker's fault? I mean, this pisses me off, to be honest, watching this.
It does sound amazing that they had a free ride. I mean, they would have got out, I bet.
A free ride? Are you kidding? The only one getting a free ride, Dwayne, is you, Eric, and the rest of your douchebag friends. The Whitakers haven't gotten a damn thing to this day, except nothing but their family torn apart. Cost some money. Oh, Purple Heart's in the chat. Hey, good. I'm glad you're here because, yeah, I have Betty Whitaker sitting here next to me, and she loves Purple Hearts. What, Betty? Oh, Betty says that the Purple Hearts are cool. What, Betty? Oh, Betty says hi to everybody, and she loves the Purple Hearts. What, Betty? Yeah, she said purple is her favorite color. Yeah, she's sitting right here. Just take my word for it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Eric. What you said?
Bedroom.
Yeah, 5-bedroom.
It's the people that win the lottery and the jackpot, and they go still.
He's talking about himself.
Something the same night, you know.
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, see, that's what I said. This makes no sense. Dwayne says this makes no sense. He agrees.
My personal thing would be sleep on it, maybe try to.
See, Eric is not really in on the whole. I mean, Dwayne is not really in on the whole scam. Me, personally, I would just sleep on it. No, Eric wants to be gone with this money.
Come up with a different plan.
And he thinks on Monday he's getting Timmy. Eric doesn't want a solution, Dwayne. Eric thinks he's not only going to take all this money, but he's going to grab Timmy on Monday when they get extracted. And he's going to take him to Georgia, and he'll get 100% of the money from now on for taping Timmy. He's already gotten most of it. Patrick got a little, but he wants it all. And so he's just going to, he don't want solutions. He wants Timmy. And he thinks on Monday they're going to hand him over Timmy. And screw the rest of the Whitakers. Whatever happens to them happens. But he'll have Timmy, and he'll have him back in Georgia. And now nobody, he doesn't have to share the money with nobody. This is too bad.
Thanks. I mean, you definitely.
And then he sits there and says, you just got to do the right thing. Why don't you just do the right thing? Says this guy who's robbed everybody, lied to everybody, manipulated the system, the courts, the police, the APS, manipulated everybody.
Definitely want to be helping Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine out. Is there a path forward with them with this house?
Is there a path forward with this house? No, he's going to flip it around and gaslight, Dwayne. I know you're not really in on their whole plan here, but no, he's planning. He did plan that. I personally believe that he was going to have this I don't even know about the log home, but I think for his first thing was to ace out the whole family, and if there is a home built there, adopt Timmy and end up with that property himself. Then he found out that there's too many family members involved. So the next plan was just to pretend there's a house coming and take the goose that lays the golden egg and head home with them and make videos and get 100% of the money. But he's got to make the family look like they're the assholes. And that's what he's doing right now. What's the path forward with this house, Eric?
Is there a path forward with them with this house?
Oh, why should I build a house just so BJ can beat him up in the house? Like, what? Is what you're going to say? Fast forward.
That's just kind of, I guess, a sleep on it and see.
No sleeping.
You know, that's my
Probably hasn't slept in a week.
heart right now.
They're torn, yeah.
Can't answer that right
No.
And the unfortunate part to lay all out there is then they're still family, and there's a good chance BJ,
Hey, Jenny.
and
now. He wants that. If they want that, and they're going to protect her.
Tumbler number 2 with the straw. Yeah. If they want, now listen, all summer he promised a house. And not once during the summer did he say that BJ and Larry can't live there. Because that wouldn't have went over good. And he didn't demonize them yet. He didn't make them out to be monsters quite yet. So we're just hearing about this. Oh, okay. I can't build the house now because there's an abuser in the picture. According to me, BJ shouldn't live on her own property. Larry shouldn't live on his own property that he was born and raised on. Nobody should live there, according to this unqualified. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Oh, we're watching your channel, Sarah. we got this off of Sarah's channel. Give her a thumbs up. Good to see you tonight, Sarah.
Instead of Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine, I can't be a part of that, guys. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm telling you.
No, it only has to be for Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine. Like, what? That's funny because Betty and Larry and BJ took care of the family for 70 years, 50 years, 40 years. And now, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I can't build the house because the people that live there still want to live there. Well, thank you, Susan. Susan says so much. Sent 5 curious deep dive soul members gift ship. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, Susan. Thank you very much. Yes, a thumbs up for Sarah Little. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. That's very kind. Jenny says thank you for the membership. All right. Now they're coming up to the Amish part.
Sucks. I just spent the better 2.5 months of my life, put my own platform.
Put his own platform that was floundering. He already told us
On
that.
the back. And I had
Yeah. And I had a what?
pretty big platform.
A pretty big platform, guys. Oh, this should be a clip right here. We should have this clip alongside with the clip where he said, you guys, I had nothing going on Dad Talk. I needed something. I had to do Whitaker's. My channel wasn't doing anything. Yeah, pretty big platform. If you go back and look, he's got like 100 views on each video. All right. Now,
I didn't need this.
I didn't. Yes, you did. Oh, he didn't need this, but when he showed up in Odd West Virginia the very first time, he told everybody he's only got $100 in his bank account and he doesn't think his bills are going to clear. His wife and kids are at home with no money. He told us that. And now he's got a big platform. He never needed any of this. Are you serious? You all heard him. He said he didn't think, and somehow, even though he's got $100 in his account to his name, and the bills aren't going to clear, somehow he went into Lowe's and bought a $250 air conditioner for the Whitakers who never even wanted it. Good grief, Eric.
One, guys, I didn't need this.
Yes, you did.
I don't know if you know.
You're broke.
I had hundreds of thousands of followers. I didn't have to have the Whitakers.
Yes, you did.
But I put that on hold, and I'm very passionate about making sure Dad.
He put nothing on hold.
I think this was
An empty channel on hold.
very much Dad Talk because I feel like I was playing a father role with him.
This is Dad Talk. He turned it into Dad Talk. I'm playing a father role, even though he just met Timmy. He just met him. And as a matter of fact, I looked at a clip off of Sarah's channel today. And it's when he left the Whitakers and they said, he left adult protection and they told him that you don't have any rights for Timmy. And he's driving on the road. You can hear Mark, the bartender, mixing him a drink next to him in the seat next to him. And he says, they just told me I don't have any rights to Timmy. I got no rights to them. Like, what? What do you mean you have? Of course you don't have any rights. You just met this family. Why would you think you have rights? Good grief. The mental problems. Forget just being greedy and psychotic and all that stuff. He's like, hey, Kathy, so glad you can go back and use the full-length deleted live streams. I had more full, but my computer crashed. That's okay. At least you got a few of them. Thank you. Internet is forever. Eric said he loved Timmy after the second time meeting him. Yeah, that is weird. You guys, now I know what it's like to be an adopted child. Like, wait, what? Timmy is knocking on 50 years old, and he's 5 years older than Eric. Never needed a dad yet, especially not one like Eric. Not any. Show me one other person who is 46 years old that lives at home with a loving family and always has. Yeah, show me that person that wants to be adopted. Show me anybody else he wants to adopt. Susan, well, Susan, he tried for them not to be forever. I have a screenshot of a comeback he gave me to one of my comments. He deleted it the next day. Guess he slept on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. You showed me that. Yeah.
I feel like I was playing a father role with Timmy.
Playing, all right. You're playing to a grown ass man. Just weird. Shaved all the hair off him, put him in baby clothes so people will buy his bullshit.
You know that he never had. And I can tell you this, Timmy loved having masculinity and male attention.
No, he didn't. And he might have liked the masculinity and male attention from Patrick. I'll admit that. But he's got male attention. He's had Larry as a father figure. He's got his Uncle Kenny as a father figure. And there's been multiple other men around there. He's not lacking any males. And do you really think Eric would be a good role model for anybody?
And I can tell you this, Timmy loved having masculinity and male attention to show.
A masculinity to what? Shave him all his hair off and put him in pajamas, baby clothes? He loved that? No, I think he was embarrassed.
Show him how to be a boy. Dude.
And he showed Timmy how to be a boy. Can you believe that? Hold on a second. Move my chair a little closer here. Yeah. He loved having masculinity and male attention to show him how to be a boy. You're showing a 46-year-old man how to be a boy. Does he believe this? Does he actually believe this? He showed Timmy how to be a boy. That is kind of almost true because Timmy was a grown-ass man. He's been a man for probably 20 years, 25 years. He's shaved for many, many years. His face, anyway. He's been a man for decades. And yeah, Eric showed him how to be a boy. No, actually, Eric, you showed him how to be an infant. You showed him how to be a 5-year-old. That is true. He's actually saying something true. I showed him how to be a boy. Yeah, I made him, what was that called? When they retract into a little baby, it's not a good thing. When an adult reverses into a baby or whatever, that's mental problems. Yeah. He was going to take Timmy to Georgia, film him whatever he wanted to, and then pass him around that compound for others to get. Exactly. Then go about his trips. And with that money, yeah, he'd never be home. Yeah, and have him watch cartoons like he's 3 years old. Yeah, he showed him how to be a baby, an infant. Yeah, he thinks he's Geppetto. He does. And his nose grows like Pinocchio. Yeah, he's Pinocchio. And Timmy, he thought was Geppetto.
Dude, it felt like seeing him finally blossom into his childhood.
Oh my God. To see this 46-year-old man blossom into a childhood. Like, oh my God. Is anybody listening? Anyway. To finally see him finally blossom into his childhood. To finally see this 46-year-old man acting like a 5-year-old. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Watching him stand right here and do this with Barney.
Wow. Watching him do that with Barney at 46 years old. He's proud of that. Well, I taught him how to be a little baby. Yeah, I taught a 46-year-old how to be a baby, shave all his body hair off, and dress in onesies and baby clothes and dance to Barney. It is very bizarre.
To be a boy. Dude.
I taught him how to be a boy.
Finally blossom into his childhood. watching him stand right here and do this with Barney.
Wow.
A night or two before, he was watching Space Jam, and I got up and started like doing my butt and twerking, playing, like, get me.
He started doing his butt and twerking and showing Timmy how to twerk. He did this with my butt and showed Timmy how to twerk.
I got up and started like doing my butt and twerking, playing, like, look at me, get me.
That's
And
weird.
That was the funniest thing. And then I said, you can do it. And
Oh.
he started like bouncing for
Uh-huh. He showed him how to stick his ass out and twerk. And then I said, you do it. God, this is weird.
this thing. And I was like, get it, Timmy, get it. I made a video of it. You guys saw it. Well, and then right after that, not long after that, man, he was getting down to that Barney intro song, dude. And
You're in the hole.
you didn't get to see nothing of those guys. The one where he
Wow.
woke me up that I didn't get on video was the best. And as soon as my eyes woke up, man, I was so sleepy, but hey, he was so happy to see us. That is the happiest person I've ever seen in the morning time. He was all over the place. Robert Mass said he was laughing his butt off. This morning, I was trying to sleep, and Timmy walked in the door and out. Back in, back.
Think about that. That's the morning that Robert Mass and nobody could wake up Eric because he was sleeping in really, really late. So Timmy was up alone with Robert Mass and Robert Mass' friend and Mark. These three men he doesn't even know. And it was so funny. Timmy was pacing, walking in and out of the door, coming in the door, going out the door. What do you think that means? He wanted to go home. He's probably wondering where his parents are. Yeah. In the morning, I was trying to sleep. He did. He slept in. They said they couldn't even wake him up. Nobody could wake up Eric. Anyway, and it was so funny because Robert Mass told him that all Timmy did was pace back and forth, go out the door and in the door. He wants to go home. Sit there with a bunch of creeps, in my opinion.
And Timmy walked in the door and out. Back in, back in. He was coming in, back, making sure, like, are you up yet? Are you up yet? Are you up yet? You know, and it helps me get up. I'll say that. And
Okay, so he tried waking him up, 50 times? It helps me wake up. Yeah, you're a great parent advocate.
Be in a bad mood when that's happening to you.
Yeah. Well, kind of switching gears, you wanted me to mention the name Sherry and property.
What was it? Sherry is just something like the overall thing, because then there's just some of that BS too. Yeah, okay. The reason that we are walking the property is because we're wanting to get guardianship of the family so that we can seize their assets and
Okay, he's being called out. Somebody named Sherry said you're walking the property because you're trying to seize their property and get guardianship of the family. I agree. Trying to get guardianship of the family so they can seize their assets. Isn't that what, he wanted their social security cards, he wants to adopt them and all this stuff, and he's scoping out that property. Yep. I want to get to the part where douche comes in.
come in here and if you got some questions,
All right.
they're out of the
Art?
Oh.
walking the property.
Okay. I'm not even going to skip this part because we got to see this part. This is the part where he said, you're just trying to scope the property out, adopt the family, get guardianship so you can take over their property. Watch the overreaction fakeness of Dwayne. Oh, you're going to steal all their, you're trying to get Timmy. That's ridiculous. Watch.
Because we're wanting to get guardianship of the family so that we can seize their assets and See, are you out of your mind?
Oh, 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 oh. Look at Dwayne. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, God, people need to find something else.
They're out of their mind.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm gonna come in here, and if you got some questions, at the time, because I'll face it. but
Dwayne's crying. It's so funny.
Deserve a response. But what am I gonna get from the Whitaker?
Well, let's see. From Timmy, you're going to get probably $1 million a year at this rate. If you're raking in 70,000 a month from these videos, Eric, you're going to get close to $1 million a year from having guardianship of Timmy alone. Plus, you're going to get money from the state and everything else for taking care of Timmy. You damn well be a millionaire. That's what you're going to get from the Whitakers. In fact, Eric, I think the better question is, what have you already gotten from the Whitakers? This is September, Eric. You've gotten tens of thousands of dollars in July 21st. You got more tens of thousands of dollars August 21st. And you've taken their money too. Their tens of thousands of dollars in August. And you got the nerve to ask people what you're going to get from the Whitakers? You've already got, according to the police, $100,000 that you kept, allegedly. Acting like this is ridiculous. Let's see, you and all your douchebag friends have all taken free trips, flights, Airbnbs, all the restaurants you can eat at, God knows what else. And you're have the nerve to ask what you're going to get from the Whitakers. You've already lived like a king this summer, and you've not paid them anything.
What am I gonna get from the Whitakers?
That house.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know if Mark wants to get on or, but, you know.
Yeah.
Get his overall summary.
Yeah, bring Mark on.
You want to come sit with me?
Yeah, let's hear about this Amish
He
thing.
was on site today, and this, everyone,
Oh, Tumblr number 2 with the straw.
everyone professionally, all that good stuff.
Okay, now we're going to hear their story.
What's the fidget thing?
Oh, look. Look at all the toys somebody sent for Timmy. Timmy, did he ever get those toys? Nope.
A lot of things.
Look at this thing. All this is.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we got
What's the fidget thing? Yeah.
They just called the truck. I mean, you can see the bedroom, new clothes, like he is there.
Yeah.
And so spoiled this week.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, douche.
Long time to see. So you flew in yesterday, and then got the full experience, got a little Amish time in, and then got to go out to the property.
He actually came on Wednesday, but who's counting? And they've already been to adult protection trying to get Timmy. But anyway.
For someone that has not
Amish.
experienced that in person.
Here we go.
What
Amish.
are your thoughts?
Well, just to be introduced to the Amish is it's not like, hey, anybody know any Amish? And we go,
Yeah.
It's,
Big deal.
it's the relationship that was built with Mr. Mast, and
Oh, he's going to slip. He's going to slip up. They're pretending that they didn't know the bishop. They pretend they didn't know the bishop, but Mark's going to slip up. It's a relationship that was built with Mr. Mast and the Amish.
he was the introduction.
And that
He was-
time.
And that takes time. That takes a lot of time. I mean, these Amish builders, you got to get to know them. You got to build relationships with them. You got to, buy cheese from them and all that other stuff and speak Pennsylvania Dutch. And so, these builders, they don't want to just build your homes. They want relationships.
that we set aside 3 days.
They set aside 3 days. So, like I said, I'm probably going to clip this part here because this story, because this is not what they say later. But they set apart 3 days. Happens to be the third, the fourth, and the fifth. And it happens to be the fourth was when Betty's restraining order was, when Eric was supposed to bring Betty to court. So they made sure they were not only gone on the fourth, but the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Okay, so they set aside 3 days to find a bishop.
And that takes time.
That takes time.
We set aside 3 days for that task alone. We were just fortunate enough because of Mr. Mass's. He knew the bishop from 35 years ago.
Whoop! There's where he screwed up. He knew the bishop from 35 years ago, right? So without that relationship, like I said, I made videos about this. Look at Eric's face. Mark, we're supposed to pretend we didn't know the bishop.
Right.
He knew the bishop from 35 years ago.
Right.
So without that relationship, I mean, we wouldn't have had the guarantee of, oh yeah, we'll build you a 5-bedroom log house and we can throw it up in 3 days.
Now, if you ever watch those body expert people, the body expert people will tell you that when you shake your head yes, psychologically you're agreeing, that you're agreeing. And when somebody's talking and you're shaking your head no, there's something that you don't want to hear. And so he says to me, good thing that Robert Mass knew the bishop for 35 years. And Eric starts shaking his head no, and he leans off the camera. Yeah, you've seen it, Jenny. He's shaking his head no, like, oh no, he did not just say that. He did not just say that. That's what I like when Mark comes on his videos because, he always gives up the goods.
He knew the bishop from 35 years ago.
Right.
So without that relationship,
And look at his breathing.
I mean, we wouldn't have had the guarantee of, oh yeah, we'll build you a 5-bedroom
See?
log house and we can throw it up in 3 days.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Mind you, Robert Mast is sitting on Eric's right. Robert Mast is off camera, but he's sitting on the other side of Eric. And he just shook his head no, and he leaned over to Robert Mast. Like, what the hell did he just say that for?
That relationship, I mean, we wouldn't have had the guarantee of, oh yeah, we'll build you a 5-bedroom log house and we can throw it up in 3 days.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what the Amish do. That's what they're known for.
I'm from California. You can't even get solar in 2
See?
years.
Right.
Leaning off the camera again.
And that's solar.
Mark screwed up the story.
Okay, yeah, that'll take 2 years.
Right.
It's a house. It's a full house. 3 years. I mean, 3 days.
He needs a drink for that one. He needs a sip drink. Yeah, he was biting his lip.
They're like, yeah, we can do it.
They said average 3 days.
Average
The
3 days.
fastest they had done it was 2.
That would be built to their specifications, their special needs specifications too.
Just exterior. The
Yeah.
reason they was wanting to do logs, they was going to do 6x12 because they said with that it was bigger and you wouldn't need any insulation, sheetrock, or anything. It's like you put it up and it's done.
Right.
Save a lot of
And
money.
it's durable.
And
too.
durable. They said Ray could hit the walls, punch it, smear stuff on the walls.
Ray can hit the walls, punch the walls, and smear stuff on the walls, and it'll be okay.
So you want to
Easy
keep
every
everything
winter
easy
time.
to clean.
Because they got a wood stove right now, so we get them away from the wood stove.
No wood's
But we get solar in, so now it's all electric. Now they don't have an electric bill, right? Because you're heating, look over here, you need stove, you need water, all the solar panels. So, and then push button for hot water. So now you don't have a hot water heater. I mean, we're talking modern technology, going from trailer to modern technology.
Yeah, that's going to work out real good. And who's going to pay for all this? And when this modern technology breaks down, who's going to pay the repairman? This is so stupid.
But that was all because of Mr. Mass. But more importantly, it was because of, Sam and his kids having this.
Oh, that is funny. That is hilarious because Sam and his kids have the knowledge about building log homes. Well, that's funny because Robert Mast and his kids know about building log homes. But there you are. There you are.
Sam and his kids having the skill set that, unless you see it in person, I mean, everyone.
I mean, you saw that his own son, what was his son, Sam? Sam Mast, Robert Mast's son, he himself built log homes. So what the hell are you going over to, 6 states over?
Having the skill set that, unless you see it in person, I mean, everyone's like, oh, the Amish know how to build. Saying it is one thing. Seeing it in person, I mean, Eric did some shots of the shops up there. It is absolutely.
Which would store a love on the rock.
It is amazing.
Okay, remember, look at Eric's not liking this. Remember last night we went over their little tour of the furniture building place. That was not a log home building place. It was a furniture building place. And then the guy showed you that they're going to make a schoolhouse and a church or something. Nothing to do with the Whitaker's house.
Shops up there. It is absolutely.
Where should we store a love on the rock?
It is amazing. I mean, again, there's talking about certain things, and then there's like talking about pipeline, and then there's being on the North Shore and seeing pipeline break live, and there's no comparison whatsoever. Wow. So being allowed to see that, number one, and number two, seeing it in person.
Dwayne, if you will, man, buy me some of. Like I said, guys, you're respectful about it.
Find some of the pushback. It's pretty much all pushback. As long as you're being respectful about it, Mark will call you a douchebag.
I'm not gonna put in anything.
I got the pushback.
Yeah, if you have some, because I mean, on this screen,
I'll read it.
A plan.
Yeah, I'll read it. So one person made a comment because we were walking the property lines. We already lined a surveyor up. We want our property lines to look at A and B, situation. If we can't get it across the street and get it back off the street enough, so they got privacy, let's go look backside of the properties. Well, the backside of the property is pretty wooded. And we kind of knew where the corners were. We knew where the main drag was. But you got to hoof it in there. And
So why would the Whitakers want to hoof it hundreds of feet back into the woods? So stupid. Did you guys ever see that? I think it was Mark Softwhite Underbelly. He was there, and the mailman came up, and they were all excited. And Timmy ran up to the car, to the guy's window, and got the mail from the mailman. The mailman was chatting with the Whitakers. That's why they like sitting on their porch. People stop, say hi. They get even the mailman. They had a great time talking to the mailman. Timmy was excited. They don't want to be hoofing it back, acres and acres back in the woods.
Jeff, this moron.
Oh, hey, Jeff, this moron. He just said, as long as they keep it respectful, Jeff, this moron.
So, Jeff, this moron, said that we are now stalking the walkers, looking for the best place to build their house. Shame on you. I can't understand why you're so rude.
Of course, we're looking for the best place to.
Yeah, they can't understand why you being so rude. You're the one that just screwed over the Whitakers. And why is your friend Douche here being so rude to everybody?
But the house,
Now we're stalking, I guess, because we're walking the property trying to, get ticks and chiggers and copperheads.
Betty told us to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty told her to go hoof it back acres into the backyard. Can you believe that? Betty told him to do that? No. Betty didn't say none of this.
Chiggers and copperheads.
Betty told us to go do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You're supposed
Talking
to
about
believe
where
that.
the house was gonna be.
Yep.
And they told us, you can go. I said, do you mind if we go and look? Because we gotta find out that land, nobody's done nothing with it in a long time. She said her sister used to live back there. So I was thinking, well, maybe 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, when they're in their 40s and 50s. They're crying out loud. They're in their 70s, pushing 80, some of them. Whatever. Do they look like they can walk good? How far is Ray supposed to walk? And what about Larry? I saw Larry barely even walking. They all had heart attacks and stuff. And yeah, they're supposed to hoof it. Betty did not want a house. Yeah, you're right. Matter of fact, when this clip gets done, I'll show you another clip.
And then Larry started talking about it. He started bringing up like 83, 82. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, 40. Yeah.
Like, no, not that long ago, but.
You're right. You're right, always, Faith. Betty never tells anybody to do anything, especially strangers. Do you think Betty ever told Eric to do anything, ever?
Around 83.
Or were these all Eric's ideas?
I said, that's 40 years ago. And they're like, oh, I guess it is. And because we couldn't find it in the zoning when we went. So.
Okay, that means they were in their 30s when the sisters lived back. They're in their 30s. Okay, they're in their 70s now. You think they still want to live back in the woods?
Oh.
And by the way, the Whitakers never lived there and back in the woods. It was a sister. I can't remember. It was Barbara. I don't know who it was. One of the sisters lived way in the back. But so what? Whitakers didn't.
They knew, and they told us to walk back there. I'm telling you, everything was hunky-dory. Everything was fine. And then look, the only reason this blew up tonight is because I saw those hands.
Because he saw those hands pulling down the blinds. And that's enough to call off everything. Wow. You know, what I said when this happened was, why didn't you just say, hey, is she going to be here or not? We got to work something out. We got to talk about this, or if it's going to be a problem or whatever. Nope. It was, she's there. Even though there's no restraining order. She's there because Eric himself missed the restraining order. But somehow this is all everybody else's fault. And to him, in his mind, he thinks that you should think that this is a good reason to just quit and take their money and go back on your deal. And in the meantime, as he's doing this live stream, hundreds, actually thousands of dollars are pouring in for this house that's going to go into Eric's pocket. Never once did he just go tell Dwayne, hey, click off that donation thing. Make sure nobody donates anymore. He didn't do that. No. He let them donations come in by the thousands while he's pulling this.
Because I'm just like, are you serious? And Betty was the one that wanted the protective order.
You're right. Susan, good catch. Eric just lied and contradicted himself. Betty told us to. Then the next breath, he said, I asked her if I should go back there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, none of them wanted any of this.
Yeah. I understand that, guys. Betty wanted that protective order. She told him she was in fear for her life and that she was afraid she was going to do it again. She said she wanted her out of there a long time ago and she wouldn't leave. She said she never wanted her to come out there in the first place, but Larry told her it was going to be temporary.
This was 20 years ago, and why is he butting into the Whitakers' business? 20 years ago, BJ moved on that property, and you know what? BJ's got just as much right to that property as Betty does, because all the Whitakers own that property. So Betty can't tell her to leave if she wanted to. And that's why you couldn't evict her, because that's her property. And yeah, you can say, yeah, she moved back here 20 years ago, and I really didn't want her to, but she said it was just going to be for a little bit, and then she ended up staying. So what? That's their business. Eric, how long you been on your mom's property? How long you been squatting on your mom's property? You could ask your mom the same thing. Does it mean that you should get a restraining order against you? Yeah, unreal. It's going to be temporary. Like, so it's none of your business. It's none of his business. Well, all the Whitakers have a right to that property. It's in the family. There's like 40-something people listed or something. But yeah, Larry does, and that's his daughter. How long has he been scamming people? Well, let's see. At least allegedly, since he did his channel in 2019. Yeah, and he didn't want to run his daughter off. Why? Yeah, and why would he? They're only saying that anything's happening because Eric's telling them, if you don't say this stuff, we're gonna turn you in to the police about that gas. Betty, if you don't say this stuff against your family, you're not gonna get that house. So they go and say stuff against each other. They didn't know all this was gonna happen. They thought this was like the process to get the house, you know what I mean?
And that was you.
And who knows what was said off the camera? Who knows what Eric said to these people off the camera? He was so worked up when he left there. He was so mad on that Friday when he left. Who knows what he told them? Yeah, nobody can make Larry put his daughter off his own property. That's right. It's his property. Betty can't tell him to get your daughter off the property. No more than he can tell anybody else to get off. It's their property.
Years and years ago. And so
You could see Timmy get nervous and point.
well, now something's up.
You can see Timmy get nervous and point. Yeah, they were scared with each other. Like, oh my God, this monster's going to attack us. He's all angry. Oh my God, is BJ going to be safe? Who's he going to attack?
Years and years ago. And so
You could see Timmy get nervous and point.
well, now something's up, because if you go back to originally on my way up here when I was doing it, it's like coming and starting to make a little bit of sense now.
He's he's had time to think up more bullshit.
I said, Eric, I need $300. If you give me $300, I get paid later on, and I'll.
Nope. I ain't getting away with this. Oh, now that I look back, it's just, it's like looking back, it's so clear now. BJ called and she said she wants $300. No, I'll tell you what she did. She called after the second payday. No, actually, no. She called when, I'll tell you exactly when she called. She called the last, well, she started getting mad after they didn't get the first payday on July 21st. She was mad about her family not getting money on July 21st. And then by August 1st, Eric and Patrick, I saw the text, you saw the text. Eric and Patrick are texting each other that they're going to get rid of BJ. That was August 1st. Exactly a week, 6 days later, BJ gets arrested for the copper that they said that they're going to turn her in for. Then BJ gets out of jail around August 8th or something. I don't have my calendar here, but about August 8th, BJ gets bailed out of jail with their own money. BJ gets bailed out of jail she gets bailed out of jail on the 8th or something like that. The first comes, I don't have my calendar with me, but anyway, she called and asked about money. It was around the second payday, August 21st. That's when she demanded money and said, we're not going to do any more videos until you pay us. And Eric turned that around to say, oh, she called me asking for money just like she called Mark Leda asking him for money. No, not the same. But he wants you to think that. She's calling because the second payday is here and you haven't given her family a dime. And they don't want to do no more videos. That's the day that Eric and Patrick planned to get rid of BJ that week. He hopped in the car. He told everybody she's evicted, turned the whole world against BJ. Because why? Because that second payday was coming up and they still aren't getting any money. That's why she called about money. Oh, you know what? Thinking back, she did call about money. Yeah, she did. Because you owe their family tens of thousands of dollars. And she said they ain't going to film anymore. And that's when you panicked, lost your shit, and hopped in the car and went back, and you were going to get Timmy. You're going to extract Timmy and bring him home because you saw that you can't go on anymore without paying the Whitakers. And you don't want to pay the Whitakers, but you want that money to keep coming in. So what's the solution? Grab Timmy, who he himself said the majority of the income comes from Timmy. So his plan was to grab Timmy. In the meantime, make it look like BJ's just jonesing and needs drug money. No, that's not what happened. I'm not going to let that slide.
And said, Eric, I need $300. Will you give me $300? I get paid later on and all.
I get paid later on. No, she didn't say that. Oh, can you borrow, Eric, can you borrow me money? I know that you owe my family about 50 or 100,000 or whatever. What would it be by then? Let's see, 7 plus 20. So at that point, you owe my family about $25,000 or $30,000, Eric. But can you borrow me 300? I get paid. I'll pay you back. Eric, I'll pay you. Why would she pay you back, Eric? You owe her family $25,000 about. Why would she promise to pay you? See what bullshit this is? Just borrow me some money, making her look like an idiot. This ain't what happened. And look at the way his friend is looking at him. Like, he can't even believe you're saying this bullshit. He can't believe people are believing it. But look at the way he's looking at Eric. As Eric's telling this lie about BJ. Whatever it takes to make you hate BJ. Oh, yeah, she just wants money. Well, wait a minute. Why would she pay you back later? When you owe them tens of thousands of dollars, pay you back.
It's starting to make a little bit of sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look. Oh, you guys, I've had a little bit of time. It's coming to me. Wait, it's coming to me. Okay, it's starting to make sense. Okay, yeah. She wanted to borrow money.
On my way up here when I was doing it, it's like coming.
He's thinking of something.
BJ called me that day and said, Eric, I need $300. Will you give me $300? I get paid later on and I'll pay you back. And I said, BJ, I don't have $300. Quick, just that quick. And I'm like,
no. She said, hey, are you going to pay my family some money or not? And when he said, I don't have money, yeah, it was a click. And what did Eric do? He panicked. He told everybody, you guys, Betty needs the phone, and they all had heart attacks, and BJ's got the phone in the camper. I have to run up to Odd, West Virginia and save everybody. Betty's afraid because she won't give her the phone. No. He had to get and run up to West Virginia because he just got told to kick rocks. You don't pay us, you're not getting filmed anymore. So he's going to go up and take matters in his own hand, get rid of BJ. Yeah, I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's what he thought.
I need $300. Will you give me $300? I get paid later on and I'll pay you back. And I said, BJ, I don't have $300. Quick, just that quick. And I'm like, wow. And so I thought, man, because at that point in time, Larry had me fooled. I really thought he was a good guy.
And why is he not a good guy? Because he doesn't want his daughter thrown off the property for no reason. He's also not a good guy because he's wondering how come you haven't paid him their tens of thousands of dollars. It's been all summer. Been all summer and you haven't paid anybody. But he's not the good guy.
Betty told me he was helping and everything, so I was actually going out of my way. If you don't believe me, go look at all those earlier videos. I defended Larry a lot because he was the one that drove and got Betty where she needed to.
Yeah, they all were just fine before you showed up.
But the next day, I called, Betty answered, and I said, hey, can I talk to Larry? And he said, I can hear him in the background. I can't hear it on the phone right now. I can't take it. And then so
I can't hear, I can't take it.
Didn't get on the phone. That was when I told people I called them and I couldn't talk to them. So I originally thought,
So I told people, I called them and they won't talk to me. That's when he got pissed off and he drove up there and he's going to destroy this family and take Timmy. That's when he decided, oh yeah? Really? Really? You're not going to let me film, huh? I'll go up there and I'll take matters in his own hands.
Maybe BJ was threatening them. And then that was why, because I had heard she got their phone, took it in her camper where they couldn't see it. Now I look back at it and think, he probably knows she asked me for that money, and that's why he wasn't getting on the phone. He knew what I was calling about. I mean, that wasn't the only reason I was calling.
Okay, you owe the Whitakers tens of thousands of dollars. And they're the assholes. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why you didn't want to talk to me. Yeah, because you won't pay them. Yeah. Robert Mass isn't even Amish anymore. Yeah, he got
Getting on the phone. He
exiled.
Knew what I was calling about. I mean, that wasn't the only reason I was calling. I was trying to call to find out what was going on altogether. But yeah.
Okay, now you hear that? He just changed his story again. He said BJ called him saying she wants the money. Now he is saying, so yeah, I was trying to call and they wouldn't answer the phone. I couldn't get nobody on the phone. So who's calling who?
Couldn't get on the phone. It makes sense now.
Yep, he kept calling and they wouldn't get on the phone. Right. Because you owe him a lot of money and now you're blackmailing him and everything else.
Yeah, she asked me for that money and that's why he wasn't getting on the phone. He knew what I was calling about.
He probably did. Larry doesn't want a confrontation. Betty doesn't want confrontation. They don't want to have to argue with you. Where's their damn money? And you know what? This coincidentally, which is not a coincidence, but this is exactly the time where Eric decided, I can't pay your parents. I can't pay Betty and Larry. It needs to go into a trust fund. Then after they die, Timmy can get it. Like, wait, what? So when he was backed into a corner on that second payday, yeah, I bet it was BJ that called. Because Larry doesn't want to fight with them. Betty doesn't want to fight with them. But you're damn right. BJ's going to call and say, hey, where is my dad's money? Where's Betty's money? Yeah, she's got the guts to do it. She's not vulnerable like the rest of them. She can't be pushed around like Larry and Betty. So yeah, she probably did get on the phone and say, where's our money? And when they said, hey, she probably did have BJ call. Yeah, he knew what I was calling about. You see that? He just said she called him for money. Nope. He knew what I was calling about, what Eric was calling about. Eric was panicking because there might not be no more videos. And so, time to take Betty and Larry and BJ out.
I mean, that wasn't the only reason I was calling. I was trying to call to find out what was going on.
It wasn't the only reason I was calling them. Does it sound like they were calling Eric when he keeps saying, well, I kept calling, they wouldn't answer, and then it's not the only reason I was calling. I wanted to know what was going on. That's exactly what I said. He wanted to know when can he come do more videos. I wanted to know what was going on. I called them. I kept calling them. I wanted to know what was going on. But a second ago, he said BJ was asking him for money. So which is it? My story fits better than his does because my story is, yeah, they told him, you owe us too much money. If you're not going to give us anything, you're done.
Altogether. But yeah, you wouldn't get on the phone. Well, it makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense. Huh?
About someone
Someone mentioned that like the stalking thing is a bunch of nonsense. Again, the comments are just, there's no way to slow them down.
thing is nonsense. I mean,
Well, what we're doing is you gotta find
property.
Well, you gotta find where the tower, telephone come to. And having never done,
We got the paper, don't you?
yeah, you get,
Go get it.
yeah.
I'll show you.
And here's where he gets the paper and all this other bullshit. Now I'm going to fast forward because I want to get to the part. This is where he flips everybody the bird. All this nonsense. Yeah. Flips everybody the bird. Dwayne laughs because he's in on the joke. And then I'm going to get to the part where he brings out those business cards. Yeah. And then here he tells about the Amish. You guys were scoping it out.
To find it. That's another thing I was thinking of. That would be good. Maybe we could get them up there and it would be easier to.
Now remember they went on that little tour of the Amish furniture making place, which anybody can go on. Had nothing to do with building the Whitaker's home. Now my monkey said they built the Amish built them something. They went and visited them, then they got a contract, they did the job, and it was emails.
Sure, nobody bothered.
And I bet you guys did not have to speak Pennsylvania Dutch and buy a big block of cheese and bring another ex-Amish with you to break the deal, did you? To make the deal.
No, I didn't. So, yeah, I'm not gonna flash people's numbers, but me.
People think
He's not going to flash people's numbers because it's all bullshit. But he's going to pull these cards out to prove that he went to the Amish one.
he's a reincarnated version of Wolfman Jack.
I saw that. I heard that.
Here's the number that you wanna push though.
I don't want to flash anybody's. Here's the number we do want to flash. What is it? Let me see. Oh, Amish. Here's proof that they made the deal with the Amish. Look.
Yeah.
And what is this?
There you go.
Right there. That's that Amish furniture place they went to.
That right there.
That's who builds the tables.
That's who builds the tables. Remember, we saw the pictures of him with a coffee table shop. Remember, they were making coffee tables out of slabs of wood. That's whose card he's got. Where is Sam Chupp's business card about? And where's these contracts? Where's the plans? Where's any proof that you spoke to him? Okay, so you got the coffee table guy. We saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Coffee tables.
I mean, I don't know what else
I don't know what else can you do besides show us the coffee table.
to tell you. I mean,
So-
there's a reason why the state followed me down there to speak on
People
my.
are sending in.
Okay, there's a reason why the state followed him down. The state followed him down because Eric called him and said, could you come down here? All right, so that's our Amish story. We're going to go over to the Amish story. Today's Amish story. Keep an eye on my battery. Yeah, breaking the silence. And this one was, let's see. Because that's when they thought they were pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. They're going to take the money. They're going to get Timmy on Monday, and everybody can just go screw themselves. They don't care. They don't care if you believe them or not. But now, oops, they didn't get Timmy. And He's under investigation by the police.
Such a beautiful thing to do.
Oh my God.
I had so many people say, like, I had lost all faith in humanity. But this.
Bullshit. So, and now fast forward, after Eric is under investigation, the police said they don't believe his Amish story. Because what did he just show us? He showed us pictures of them looking at some Amish coffee tables and some slabs of wood. And then he shows us the only proof he did anything Amish. He had a bag of potato chips from the Amish, or cheese puffs or something. And they also had a business card from the guy who builds the coffee tables. All right, you haven't seen that one? Hey, Crafting, good to see you. All right, so, yeah. Hey, little kid, you gotta get out of here.
This is, turning that around. And then.
Come here, baby.
Everybody was behind it except 3 grifters.
All right. This is what I said. Everybody was behind it except 3 grifters. He's calling Betty, Larry, and BJ grifters. What did I say when I came on here tonight? This is what they're doing. They're trying to demonize his family. Betty, Larry, and BJ are grifters. They're the ones who screwed everything up. It wasn't Eric at all. It was because Betty and Larry and BJ didn't want to move out of their house and go somewhere else. It's because Larry didn't want to throw his daughter off the property for no damn reason. It's because all these people were taken advantage of and never got paid. Eric went off with $100,000 allegedly under investigation for fraud and for taking advantage of these people here. And they had the nerve to call them grifters. They didn't go looking for Eric. Eric went looking for them. Eric made the money. Eric broke the laws. Eric did all these things. Not the Whitakers. But he's got the nerve to sit there, this douchebag, Mark, got the nerve to sit there and call the Whitakers grifters because they didn't go along with their plan and hand Timmy over. They didn't hand Timmy over to Eric so he could take him home and exploit him at his house and keep all the money. And do you see the hair on his face? He looks like a grown man here. Timmy looks like a grown man, and I'll guarantee he's got hair on his chest still. This is when Mark was videotaping them. Now, if he had left him like this in man clothes with a beard and a mustache, it wouldn't have gone over so well saying, oh, I taught him how to be a little boy. I taught him how to be a little boy. He finally learned how to be a little boy. What? Oh, yeah, I could just see him. I taught him how to stick his butt out and twerk like I do. And I taught him how to watch Barney and be a little boy. Oh, they're grifters. Grifters? Yeah, he's got nerve, man. And this is a douchebag from California that comes into this family and calls them thieves and crooks. When, you know what? Mark made more money than the Whitakers. Eric made all the money. How much do you think Mark profited from all this? With the free trips and all this flights from California and all expense paid trips with his little buddy here. But somehow the Whitakers are the grifters in this. Because they didn't want their family broken up. Because they wanted to be paid what they were owed. That makes them the crooks. Because they were sitting there minding their own business. You came to them. You robbed them. You broke their family up. And somehow they're the losers. They're the grifters. Unbelievable.
Everybody was behind it except 3 grifters. Everybody. from that state to
Tumbler number 2, Nostrum.
other states to across the pond to Canada. Everybody was behind
It's
it,
Mark talking, not me. Not saying I agree or disagree.
except 3 grifters.
3 grifters.
I'll name names.
I'll name
I'll
names.
name.
You can, I'm not.
No, I will. I mean,
I know.
because
But I'll get blamed for it.
well, I'll say my opinion and my fact of being front and center firsthand, and Mr. Mass. So, what's Mr. Mass's agenda? What's my agenda? What was the?
A bunch of free trips, because I'm going to tell you what Eric called Mark. His exact words. I think it's on this video. Eric's exact words to Mark were, "Hey, you got to get out here out of West Virginia. I'm with the Whitakers, and we got a lot of support out here." Support means money, obviously. You know, it's not people waving banners and patting them on the back. Support means money. In fact, let's just say right here, support now. Support means money to Eric. And Eric's first words out of Eric's mouth, you got to get out here. We got lots of people supporting us. What's his agenda? Well, I don't know. But there obviously Robert Mass has an agenda, or he would have just picked up the phone and asked his son, "Hey, son, I know you do log homes, or did. Who can we have? Can you get a hold of somebody to do a log home for the?" That's all you have to do. No flights, no rent-a-cars, no Airbnbs, no more trips to Virginia, more trips to West Virginia, more trips from Idaho, restaurants, you name it. Tours of their Amish coffee table factory. So you can pretend that you made a deal. What's your agenda? It's money. Money, money, money.
Reason Mr. Mass would
That's what their agenda
hand
is.
Mr. Mass. So, what's Mr. Mass's agenda? What's my agenda? What was the
Money.
reason Mr. Mass was out?
Money,
And then tell him what was the reason that I was out.
money,
What was your agenda, Mark? Why
Money.
was you here?
money.
I was going to project manage the bill. What was Mr. Mass?
Okay, see how this has changed? The first time he went out, I don't know how many times Eric said the reason Mark is out here is for emotional support and to hold the camera. That's what he said. Now that they're under investigation, he says they're trying to get their story straight. And in case the police are looking, they want to explain to the police, well, we all had a really good reason to be there. I was going to be the project manage the bill. Project manage the bill? What? Because now that I called them out, that hey, you can't have the Amish build a house. They don't use building permits. They don't do electricity. They don't do anything up to code. Okay, so so now they're agreeing that, yeah, well, not only do we have to have the Amish, but we have to hire a building contractor. Okay, so what's the use of having the Amish? And then if that's not enough, Mark here was going to project manage the whole thing. So Mark's going to overlook the building contractor, who's overlooking the Amish, who's overlooking the money. Like, oh my gosh, digging a hole deeper. I was going to project manage the bill. That doesn't make no sense. What bill? And Robert Mass' reason to be there. So they're justifying to the police. They don't care about us. They flipped us the bird and told us a bunch of lies. They don't care about us. But now that he's under investigation and he's not been cleared, he's not been given immunity, because that's one of the things that Mark here is mad, saying that he should have been given immunity. So now this is not for us, but for the police. Why were we all there? And he's trying to get the story straight for the police, I'm pretty sure. I had a good reason. I was going to project manage the bill, which makes no sense. The only project managing of the bill was the dinner bill that came. You know, put it on the Whitakers tab. Airbnb, Whitaker's tab. Round trip flights, Whitaker's tab. Rental car, Whitaker tab. Gas, Whitaker tab. Meals, Whitaker tab. And what was okay, now we gotta have a reason for Robert Mass to be there. What was it?
That's his reasoning for me.
Yeah, what was his reason besides the money?
Introduce me to the Amish.
Introduced me to the Amish. It's like they rehearsed this and see how worn out Eric is. Well, okay, remember, I'm the project manager. And remember, what was Robert Mass again? Tell us, Eric, to introduce me to the Amish. Hey, not my monkeys. What Amish did you have to use to go meet the Amish? No, and none of it makes sense. And why did we need Robert there again? He introduced us to the Amish. Yeah, somebody who's been kicked out and exiled or whatever. Some of the Amish who they don't want nothing to do with. Yeah, he's the one that's going to introduce you to the Amish. Because unless you have somebody introducing you to Amish, their building companies don't want to build for you. Like, you have to do the secret knock-knock code and buy cheese.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you got that straight?
I was going to project manage the build. What was Mr. Mass's reasoning for me there?
Introduce me to the Amish.
Okay. So
And he did.
Yeah.
He had
So
3 days. All right, let's do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
So I've
do
been
this.
there
Mm-hmm.
almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about some more of it later, but
Mm-hmm.
today you guys get in.
Mhm.
We had planned that a good bit before. Again, I wasn't supposed to be out there until the day these guys flew in, because my plan was to drive up from Georgia to Charlotte, then go to West Virginia. That's a lot of freaking driving. Instead, I ended up a week beforehand going up there, an extra week in Airbnbs, gas, food, and the whole 9 yards.
And it all came out of the Whitaker's pocket. All this. And he spent all that extra time to try to rip their family apart. And it came out of Whitaker's paid for that.
I only had, I think, 2 outfits, man. I wore that same American Eagle shirt and shorts, and I didn't end up buying me any clothes. And I think until like week 2, I was like, I got to do something.
I went with you to Walmart. That wasn't
Yeah.
on the deal.
Wow, he didn't even get paid for going to Walmart. I bet he did.
But that was what was supposed to be going down. But I was already there, so now I got to go to Charlotte. It's you guys, and I think you came a couple hours apart. You're from California, him from Idaho. Robert Mass, for context, guys, one of the nicest, amazing human beings I've met. I've met a lot of people.
It doesn't matter. Who gives a crap? How nice you think your friends are. I'm going to tell you why he thinks he's nice, because allegedly, Eric made a lot of money off of Robert Mass Foundation, bringing in all them donations for Robert. You got a little piece of the pie, didn't you?
You just don't understand the Mass family.
You just don't understand it.
Nobody more genuine than Mr. Mass.
John, I keep these on my desk, dude. It's like the first thing I start out my day with. John. I met them when their son got killed, and I found out that they were Amish, and so I learned a lot about the Amish lifestyle. And when my number one thing was wanting to get a nonprofit or wanting to get some type of outside source, not only to help build, but to handle money, because I don't want to handle money. You want to know why I don't want to handle money, Mark?
You want to pretend you're not handling the money. Because somehow it was going to go into this secret account. An Amish bank that's not even a bank. It's literally like a wood box in their house. Yeah, you could have just done a GoFundMe like Mark did. But you want to complicate it. Put it through that. You know what it's called? It's called bird in the hand. The Amish most Amish, I think, use a bank called bird in the hand. You know, because a bird in the hands were 2 in the bush, right? And so they would rather have the money in their house in a wood box with a padlock on it than to deal with any banks. So now you're dealing with not only the Amish that don't do building permits, they don't do anything up to code, and they won't touch anything that has to do with electricity. Yeah, they also don't deal with banks. So yeah, that's why he got the Amish, because it's going to muddy the waters, and you won't know where the money went. You think it's going to be kept like a GoFundMe where you have the name of the donor, the amount, and the date that it came in? Nope, not going to happen.
Type of outside source, not only to help build, but to handle money, because I don't want to handle money.
Well, you've been handling the Whitaker's money for almost a year now, and you won't hand it over.
Oh, I don't want to handle money, Mark? What are we doing right now?
Yeah, you're under investigation for fraud. Yeah.
So,
Funny,
I don't want to handle money.
hilarious.
I reached out to the Appalachian Project. I reached out to Habitat for Humanity.
I would like to know if they did that, because the truth of the matter is, he knows damn well they had people chomping at the bit to hand this money over for the house. They know that they could get $100,000 probably within a week. So why are you trying to reach out to all these charitable places? I doubt he ever did. I doubt it. Habitat, man. Yeah, no, that's for people who don't have the money. Whitaker's could have gotten those donations very easy had you not been so greedy.
Anybody, everybody, guys. I had like so many different things that went down. And then I used to, back when I did read the comments and would go and try to be like one-on-one with the community, somebody had mentioned the Amish, and I was like, hey, I didn't think about it right away, but then I was like, hey,
somebody mentioned the Amish. I thought, hey, who mentioned the Amish? They did. Eric and Robert Mast. Hey, we'll just say, the Amish are going to do it, and they don't even keep track of money really legally. So yeah,
I have someone that might be able to help.
Okay. Here, this is interesting. And so I thought, hey, I told Robert, and he said, hey, I know somebody that might be able to help. And that's when I called up Robert, and he was like, absolutely.
That's when I called up Robert. And
Yeah.
he was like,
hey, I know somebody that's Amish. I just spent the entire month with him. And I'm on his board that brings in tons of donations through me, and then somehow I end up in my pocket. Yeah, I'll call him. Yeah, hey, yeah, that was so random. Yeah, no, this is planned.
I have someone that might be able to help. That's when I called up Robert, and he was like, absolutely, Eric, they would get behind this. Up until that point, he didn't know about this story, nothing. But when he heard what I was doing, and he knew how I'd been there for his son, guys, y'all just don't know how much that family's been there for me.
In other words, he made a lot of money off of them.
Lawsuit.
One of the most meaningful messages I got, I told you, my phone was silent for a very long time there for a couple of months. And then the day somebody got arrested, man, my phone went off the hook. And I was like, why now? You had all this time, and I could have used some friendly ears, Why not?
I think he's talking about Dwayne.
Now, I'm not trying to make myself out. Like, dude, it's so easy to become a victim in your own mind. I'm such a blessed guy.
Yeah, so he was feeling like a victim. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so easy to feel like a victim.
Family, got my wife, my dog, you. I had so many things to be thankful for. I got to remind myself about that.
Well, I mean, so far he does. I don't know how long that's all going to last, but we'll see.
Today, we're making the GPT 5.6
because that's
series
karma.
models.
That is karma. Yeah, you're right, Susan. Susan said, I believe that Eric called his friends and say, hey, look, I got a great scam going on, and do you want in on it? Patrick is dumb as Mark's rocks. We can cut him out easy. Absolutely, 100%. I couldn't agree more, Susan. They knew that. I mean, look at he just got manipulated 2 weeks ago to go on somebody's channel and help her cover up her lie. And he didn't, I mean, dumb as rocks. Yeah. Yeah, more excuses, yeah. Okay, yeah, we got a good reason to be there. Mhm.
Because I haven't deep down in that, why me, why me?
Why me? Why me? Okay, was it your family that got ripped out of their house? Was it your family that got ripped off of tens of thousands of dollars? Was it your family that you can't even see anymore? Why me? Why me? Good grief. He burns down the whole frickin' place and then he cries, why me? Why me? Burns down everybody else's frickin' life to the ground. And then walks away and says, why me? Why me? Unbelievable.
I gotta remind myself about that. Because I have went deep down in that, why me, you know?
Why me? Why me?
That, it was one of those moments, it was so dark. I swear to God, man, again, I'm not really spiritual or religious, but that guy's got a relationship with God. That family does. I know they do. Because he knows the right moment and when. And when I made that documentary about John, I knew the way the media was going to spin it. And it was going to be like a us versus them thing.
And the reason he says that, because you'd say to yourself, well, wait a minute. A man was murdered, gunned down, picking up his daughter for, or his kids or whatever it was, for a visitation. So why would they demonize that man? Well, because if you know the rest of the story, it's a dirty story. It's not good because that father was accused of some nasty things. So when he says that he didn't know how it was going to be taken, because there's two sides to every story. Robert Mass isn't the only side of the story. There's the other side, the other family, the Bergers. I think that was her name, right? Berger? Because a wife came on my channel and wrote some things. I think she sent me an email. Can't remember. But the Bergers have their side of the story too. Go ahead, Eric.
I knew the way the media was going to spin it, and it was going to be like a us versus them thing.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately just came out, I stand with John. One day when I was at Sports Studio, I got a card in the mail from the Mass family. And I almost remember it verbatim. It's like, Eric, he was always there to stand with us and stand with our family in our darkest moments. And you always stood beside John and was faithful. We just wanted you to know we're here to stand with you. And it came at the moment, dude, that it just, I needed it.
Well, I hope John's under investigation too. I really do. Because this here, I'm going to show you something. This here was 6 months ago. This was the first time Eric broke his silence. And look at the date on this. This is January 31st. This was only about 2 weeks after Patrick got arrested in January. That's why he broke his silence, right? Well, after this, the next round, the next time they come on, which was, I think, in March or April or something, maybe May. But a few months later, after this, they're actually saying that the investigators don't believe the Amish story. So at this point, I'm thinking, I bet Robert's probably getting investigated. Why wouldn't he? He was involved as anybody. Robert Mass is right at the center of this. Because he knows damn well he didn't need to do this. Robert Mass knows he did not need to hop on a plane and do all these trips and spend all Whitaker's money. He knows that you didn't need a Amish or ex-Amish person to go to a shop that builds homes and ask them to build a home. Robert Mass knows damn well this is all bullshit. And there's no way Robert Mass is going to be able to explain this to the police. So now, this was in January, fast forward a few months, and they're saying, now they're really mad. And Douche here is saying that, well, I don't care if you don't believe Robert Mass, the Amish story. Yeah, so I will bet at this point, probably, Robert's probably been, I'd be shocked if the police haven't talked to Robert. I would be shocked. Because I'm betting they did. And if I think if Eric is charged, I think co-conspirators will be charged. And I'm talking Mark here, probably Dwayne, And for sure, Robert Mast. Maybe even his brother Sean, who knows? Because if one exploited him, they all exploited him. You know, and then mind you, they were doing this with vulnerable people's money. Spending this money because, yeah, they know Whitaker's, number one, don't understand nothing. They're not business savvy. They're not worldly. They can't speak up for themselves to save their life. And so they can just make up anything they want. They could have said, well, we have to go to Disney World for a week to make this deal. Well, yeah, they can say anything they want right now. But now that the police are looking at it, they're trying to sharpen their story and they're trying to make the story make a little bit more sense. But yeah, okay, so back in January, Robert said, I stand with you. We'll see. We'll see if Robert continues to stand with you, Eric. Because if there's any charges or anything, I doubt Robert's going to be standing by you. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've got somebody here with me.
And the last thing I want to hear is how religious somebody is. Okay, because those are red flags. Oh, they're so religious. Yeah, you said you were too.
Like you got the whole world, you know. But I gotta stop going off on my tangents.
Yeah.
So he was there, and we had scheduled
Okay.
3 days because we were going to go to 3 different communities.
That was the plan. He didn't know. They lived in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is where the Amish, that's like their headquarters. That's their DC, right? But you got Amish kind of all spread out throughout the country and Mennonites or whatever. But there was one in particular that he had knew and that his family.
Okay. Here's where the story's going to change. He says there's one in particular that he knew, and he's talking about Sam Chupp in Parisburg, West Virginia. I mean, Virginia. There's one in particular that he knew.
Family knew, and
his family knew, and he met him at church. Oh, it's church, you guys. You're not allowed to ask questions or question anything or use common sense. If somebody says they're religious or they're from church, you just got to believe everything they say. So he knew him, he met him, he was at church.
At a church one time, and he said he was a really good guy. I think if we can meet him, that's going to be our best chance.
Okay, so you're not able to just pick up the phone and say, hey, hi, Mr. Chupp. Do you remember me? I'm Robert Mast. We went to church together one time. We used to know each other. Do you think you could build at Whitaker's a house? That's all he had to do. Oh, I know this guy. I used to go to church with him in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I think if we just take trips across the country and just jump in the car and start driving around randomly. Now, remember, this is not what he said before. Before he said that they were just going to start in Parisburg and then work their way around there. Then Douche slipped and said they knew the guy for 35 years. Now he's trying to mesh these two stories together to make sense. I think if we could meet him, okay, why don't you just call him on the phone? Oh, that's right. Whitaker's are paying the bill. Never mind.
I think if we can meet him, that's going to be our best chance. But we had it planned to where if we had to go to Ohio or somewhere else, you know, that we were going to do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So first he's going to go from Idaho to West Virginia. From West Virginia, they're going to go to Virginia. And then if that don't work, he's going to go back to Idaho and see if somebody where he lives can do this. Oh, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you just you already live in Idaho. It's like me being in Minnesota. Okay, guys, there's a guy who builds these houses here in Minnesota. But I think if I fly across the country and get in a rental car and see an Airbnbs and go drive around and look for this one guy, I think that's a good chance. And then we'll ask him. And if he doesn't want to do it, I'll come back to Minnesota and then I'll ask the guy down the road here who builds houses if maybe he wants to do it. How does that make any sense? And if we have to go to Ohio, that's where he lives. If we have to go to Ohio, I don't know, isn't that where his kid builds the houses?
But we had it planned to where if we had to go to Ohio or somewhere else, you know, that we were going to do it. And
So they were just going to start just going to random states looking for an Amish person to build a house. And then you're going to go to Idaho to see if somebody in Idaho wants to go to West Virginia, with their horse and buggy? How in the hell do Amish people go across the country to build a house? That makes no sense. They don't even drive. Okay, so if it didn't happen in Virginia, then we're going to go back to where he lives in Idaho and see if one of them want to do it. Okay, what? Load the logs on a horse and buggy and what? Go across the country? Still don't make any sense.
Ohio or somewhere else, you know, that we were going to do it. And 3 days planned. That's why you and him came out. So I picked them up day one. That day, because it was travel, I know what it's like flying out of Idaho. No fun. I knew Robert. And guys, let's just give a little bit more context. Robert's almost 80 years old, 79 years old. He had just fell like the week before and really messed up his knee. So he was barely walking. His wife.
Boy, the payday must have been good for him to go on a freshly hurt knee, leave his wife behind, who's also 80, with titanium plates in her hip, to go to meet Amish people that you could just pick up the phone and call.
Was recovering from a few months before she broke her hip.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't get a hip replacement. She got titanium. Okay?
Yeah.
You can bounce back from a hip replacement a little bit quicker. She had got titanium. And then after he gets back home, she breaks her other hip.
Oh, God.
He was the main caretaker. Still, he came out and he let me know, I'm good, I'm blessed. I believe in what you're doing and I want to be there.
I want in on this shit. Yeah, because obviously there's more money than anybody's keeping. Nobody's keeping track. The money's flowing, like rain, pouring down like rain. Yeah, that's why he left his house with a wife with titanium hips.
Comes out there. So that first day was just meant to get in here and relax.
Hey, hockey mom.
And that next day, that was when we had it planned to go. We kind of used that first day like, here's the game plan. Sat down, had it all rolled out so we could get up early the next morning and take off. So we had a whole list of places to go, and it just so happened the very first place was the only place. He had the right person in mind. And what the community or the people watching right now doesn't know, one thing I was going to do when I came back home to Georgia, I was going to make a documentary, not a documentary, I was going to go do a video up there and show you everything about him so you knew who we was a part of or like what was involved with it. And then...
Yeah, sure. You guys, he was going to tell you about Robert Mass and stuff. Not, he hit him. He was off camera. He didn't want to talk. He was completely hidden the first time when he spent all your money. But maybe next time you guys might meet this Robert Mass, the hero who pulled out the Hail Mary of Hail Marys.
There was that part two. It was like, there was people trying to say the Amish were fake.
Nobody said the Amish was fake. No, he wants to make it sound ridiculous. Like any criticism was ridiculous. No, not one person said the Amish was fake. No. They said you're fake. And all this trips to go get an Amish was fake. But nobody said the Amish themselves were fake. That's a lie.
And then there was that part two. It was like, there was people trying to say the Amish were fake. Like, okay, let's show them. You think they're fake? Trust me. Anyway,
You still have those two videos up. When we toured there.
There you go. You still have those two videos up when we toured their city. Do you see that? This was Parisburg. You had the videos up. We saw them. Those were the coffee table. You have those videos up when we toured their city. That was not Sam Chupp's house. That wasn't his house. That was their touring the city, and somebody made coffee tables. That's it. That's the business card they have. That's their videos that they have. That's it. Visiting the Amish store that sells cookies and visiting the place that makes the coffee tables. That's it. There was nothing, not a splash second of anything that had to do with Whitaker's or Sam Chupp or any of them. You still have those videos up when we toured their city. He told us that they went to Sam Chupp's house, and all they told us was what I showed on the article from last night. Last night, I did a live stream, and I showed you can look it up. Look up Sam Chupp, C-H-U-P-P, Sam Chupp, Pearisburg, Virginia, and look at his house. His house is online. They didn't go to his house. They read the article when we toured their city. Right there.
And I am still going to do something with them and let people know that, dude, if I lived in that area, that would be my grocery store. That would be where I got my furniture, everything. They're amazing people. The reason I didn't do that, I see the way.
Okay. All right, here's another lie. Here's another lie. The reason he didn't show anything is because I see the way that they did my daughter, okay? Now, when Eric took all this money and he stole the Whitaker's money and allegedly and all this stuff, all right, Eric was so hated by people that actually they went on Eric's Facebook and they started talking crap about his daughter's graduation. They were saying, he said, I bought my daughter's graduation dress or something. Mentioned something about spending money on his daughter's graduation. So people, of course, went on there. There's people that said, hey, why are you using the Whitaker's money? Are you buying your daughter's stuff with the Whitaker's money? That's what it was. His dirt followed him over to Facebook. And yeah, his daughter got a little bit of backlash off it, I guess. But that was after this all happened, not before. This happened recently, long after the Whitakers were split up. But he's saying that the reason he didn't put none of this online is because of what they did to his daughter. No. This was 6 months before anything happened to the daughter on Facebook. You see how he did that? I saw what they did to my daughter, so no. When this was going on with the Amish, not one person had said anything to your daughter.
Reason I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I see the way they did that about my daughter, myself, my friends, and the people around me.
That was after you robbed everybody. No, the reason I didn't put it online is because I seen what they didn't do none of that until afterwards. So that's a lie.
These are people that don't even have social media. They don't have cell phones. They don't.
And you know what I thought is weird and interesting? The reason he was able to pull this off, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he could say anything he wants. He could run any narrative he wants because none of the Whitakers have internet. And he could say anything he wants about the Amish because they're the only ones that don't have internet. Now, oddly enough, Whitakers are very few people on this planet who don't have the internet. And that's who he chose to say what and run the narrative because he can. And then he chose the Amish to run this narrative because they also are one of the few people left who don't have internet. So he can say what he wants about Whitakers. They're never going to see it. He can say what he wants about the Amish. They're never going to see it. Because it happens to be the two groups of people left on this planet without internet. And he even said that. He said, we had the bishop in my car, and I can say what I want because he's never going to see that. And he liked that air conditioner. He didn't admit it, but he liked the air conditioning. And I can say that because he's never going to see these videos. And that's partly why he got away with this, because Whitakers never saw what he was doing. And Amish never saw what he was doing. The two on the planet has no internet.
About my daughter, myself, my friends, and the people around me. These are people that don't even have social media. They don't have cell phones. They don't even have electricity at their house. The last thing I wanted to see, people who were going to donate their time and sacrifice to come and do this for someone they had never met. The last thing I want to.
And he's talking like the Amish were going to do this for free. They were going to sacrifice their time, sacrifice their energy, and they were going to donate. No, the Amish were not going to. See, he's getting his stories mixed up. You said the Amish was going to put all the money in a big pile and they were going to have people watch over it. Now you're saying they were all going to donate and sacrifice and all this other shit. And I think he's going to say, and he don't want people harassing him online. Well, Eric, if they don't have internet, how can they be harassed online?
Donate.
He's out of his mind, I'm telling you. I just lost my spot.
It's not what they wanted. With this story, there wasn't nobody.
I lost my spot.
As I say, heated floors, but that was.
I just lost my spot, you guys. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta figure out where I was. All right, I was at, let's see. All right. All right, looks like I was about here.
I did exactly. They said they would never even have to run the heat. That's how it is.
Yeah, they're never gonna have to run the heat. Yeah, okay.
It's
One of the most meaningful
lawsuit.
Yeah, it's around here.
And that next day, that was when we had it planned to go. We kind of used that first day, like, here's the game plan, sat down, had it up. And not only would it be difficult for them, like.
Here it is, right where I left off. All right, the last thing I wanted.
Their time and sacrifice.
Okay, here.
Have electricity at their
These
house.
poor people, they don't have electricity, they don't have internet, nothing. But they're going to be harassed online. Listen to this.
The last thing I wanted to see, people who were going to donate their time.
They're not donating their time.
And sacrifice to come and do this for someone they had never met.
Sorry.
The last thing I want to see happen to them is for them to get heckled.
How are they going to get heckled? For one thing, the Amish are not going to donate their time and their money. That's a lie. Second of all, if they don't have internet or electricity, how are they going to be heckled? Are people going to go out to the gate and start shaking their fist? How are the Amish going to get heckled? Tell me.
At their house. The last thing
Okay, listen to this. They're going to donate their time and donate and sacrifice everything. And even though they don't have electricity or internet, they're going to be harassed online.
They did that about my daughter.
They did that about, you're right. Nobody knew about anything. Nobody knew about your daughter until you ripped everybody, the Whitakers off. Then they came after you. That was what, January? I don't even know.
got my furniture, everything. They're amazing people.
Amazing.
For the reason I didn't do that, I see the way they did that about my daughter, myself,
That
my
was
friends,
reason.
and the people around me. These are people that don't even have social media.
Listen
They
to
don't
this.
have cell phones. They don't even have electricity at their house.
But people are going to
The
heckle them.
last thing I wanted to see, people who were going to donate their time and sacrifice to come and do this for someone they had never met. The last thing I want to see happen to them is for them to get heckled.
They're going to wait till their horse and buggy goes by, and then they're going to say, "Hey, you Amish people, why would they even get heckled?" I don't even know. I can't even finish that. Why would they get heckled? People with no power, no electricity, no internet. Somehow everybody's going to heckle him. Like his daughter got heckled before anybody even knew anything. What?
This.
And by the way, Amish don't donate their time and sacrifice anything. They're all about business, okay? If they're going to build a home, it's not going to be voluntary. They're not going to sacrifice anything. They're there to make money, like any other construction company. Idiot.
For someone they had never met.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do. Amish people are going to sacrifice their time, their money, their resources, everything for non-Amish people that they never met. I mean, good grief. Good grief.
To come and do this for someone they had never met.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to see happen to them is for them to get heckled. Because it would not only would it be difficult for them, like I don't even know if they would understand it. The one thing that happened to me during that period of time that we got to go there and spend that day, Mark, I found myself being so jealous, man.
He's so jealous that they don't have social media. Are you kidding? He told you he lives for social media. But you're supposed to believe he's jealous because they don't have electricity. Yeah, can you imagine Eric being jealous because they don't have electricity, because they don't have internet, because they don't have social media, because they have to work their ass off? Yeah, you buying this? You think he's jealous of that?
To go there and spend that day, Mark, I found myself being so jealous, man.
Yeah, sure.
Because these guys don't have any of the social media drama. They don't know anything about the political drama. They don't know about this.
They can't make money off of Whitaker's.
Gender transition stuff. I started telling him a little bit about Jeff Younger's story, what he was going through with his son and his ex-wife trying to change the sex of his child. He was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're like
on their face in pure terror. Like I just told him World War II had started, you know?
Yep.
Why would anybody heckle the Amish? Even if you could find them, go track them down, on the side of the road or whatever, at a food stand, or maybe go down to their house. What would you be heckling them for?
They don't have any of that. The way they kind of live in that community together, they help their neighbor.
Susan, are you talking about the compound? Are you talking about the compound of the Amish? That's like a whole community. Like around here, they do have compounds. I've been to their compound. That's where I got my dog. And they do have a bunch of different people living there, but it's kind of spread out on a big property. Juice is just sitting there like a bobblehead. Yes, it is all bullshit. I bet you money Eric Carroll doesn't have any. I bet he doesn't have anything in his name either. It's probably all in his mom's name, because if he gets sued or whatever, remember he keeps getting these LLCs, but I looked it up, and an LLC does not protect you against fraud. Like, it'll cover accidents and stuff, somebody gets hurt on a job or something, but so you don't lose your house and they don't take what you have. But one thing that they aren't going to protect you against if you commit fraud. And if you commit fraud, your LLC gets you nowhere. As a matter of fact, It's worse for you if you have an LLC and commit fraud. You'd be better off with no LLC if you commit fraud. But yeah, he thinks that's gonna help him. Eric's compound, that's his mom's property. If I would ask Sarah, Sarah would know more than me. I think it's his mom's property. And the brother lives there and he lives there, and now people have just got these mobile homes all over it, I guess.
The situation that we were trying to make better would have never happened if they were in that community, because that community built.
Okay, the Whitakers wouldn't be Whitakers if they were in the Amish community. Really? Have you been to the Amish house? Anyway.
Would have never happened if they were in that community, because that community builds each other up. They believe in helping thy neighbor and loving thy neighbor. And I found myself being so jealous, man. And I realized too, because the Amish were so kind of elusive and hidden in the background, there's so many misconceptions of them out there. So many. And so
one of the biggest misconceptions that I see right here is that you have to actually go find an ex-Amish person, travel around the country and just randomly pick Amish people and try to find a bishop, and then go in and with your ex-Amish friend and speak Pennsylvania Dutch and do your magic and buy a big cheese wheel just so they will build your house. That's the biggest misconception that I've heard actually tonight.
I'd love for people to see that. When I asked them, I don't want to be near the money. Everybody understood it.
I don't want to be near the money.
Be the keeper of the funds. And what we will do, we'll have like a committee over it.
And I really find it hard to believe that the Amish people would have a big committee with and taking in people's donations. Amish people don't deal with donations. I'm going to tell you the biggest problem about this. How are people supposed to donate to the Amish when they don't deal with banks? A GoFundMe isn't going to just put it into their piggy bank. You need something electronic to take in funds. And if the Amish don't deal in electronic fundraising, then you have to have a middleman. And who do you think that would have been? Amish people aren't in fundraising business.
To watch over this, there were so many layers there, from the Amish to trying to get a trust account to like so much, dude. And then
the Amish was a scam. Trust account was a scam.
But who does the government turn to during natural disasters when they need help? The Amish, because they can come in and throw a house up.
Wait a minute. Since when does FEMA go looking for Amish people to clean up disasters and rebuild? Listen to this bullshit. Who does the government turn to during disasters? Yeah, FEMA. Yeah, FEMA always asks the Amish people if they could hook up their horse and buggy and bring some lumber down here to build a house. Yeah, that's what they do. I've never was his Amish. Yeah, exactly, Rose. Exactly. Robert Mast would have been the bank. You got that right. Robert Mast would have been the go-between, just like he is now. You're right, Rose. Exactly. It would have been, he's used to dealing with the Amish. He knows how to deal with their money. Put it in Robert's account. Because, like I said, how are these donations going to get to the Amish people? They can't. They're just going to send cash in an envelope in the mail. It ain't going to happen.
Natural disasters when they need help. The Amish, because they can come in and throw a house up in 3 days.
Okay.
Because they can come in and throw a house up in 3 days. You had the flood in Helene. The Amish came in and rebuilt the community. They had other floods that they referenced when I was up there that I wasn't familiar with in West Virginia. They said the Amish came in and helped us because they can throw structures up in less than a week.
When they told,
I'll tell you what, I don't want to live in no damn house that was built in 3 days. That's stupid. Well, and by the way, yeah, you can build a house in 3 days if you don't do anything up to code, you don't have building permits, and you don't touch the electric. I still don't think it could be done. Not I want to live in it.
they ever built a house from beginning to end was 3 days. And listen, guys, I wasn't thinking of anything extravagant. Of course, I wanted to be as nice as possible, but anything was better than what was sitting there.
And they still have what was sitting there. You haven't done a damn thing. He didn't get a gallon of paint. Nothing. Anything would have been better, and including a double wide across the street. That would have been like, they would have loved that. They couldn't have been any happier if you would have given them a double wide across the street. That's what they would have been happy with. Because they can maintain that, they can heat it, they can cool it, they can maintain it. They cannot maintain $1 million log home, and they cannot pay taxes on $1 million home. As a matter of fact, if you leave the wheels on your mobile home, then it's still mobile, and the taxes are pretty much nothing. You get taxed for the land. As soon as you take them wheels off the mobile home and put it on blocks, now you've got a permanent structure. I mean, so who's going to pay the taxes and heat this place and maintain it, fix the solar when it doesn't work? I mean, just stupid. Yeah, anything would have been better.
Clean home, affordable, realistic, that can be
That's not realistic, and it can't be maintained. Listen, if you had a young couple in their 30s that were actually had some money coming in, it'd still be hard for them to maintain this solar run, floor heated Amish home.
Take care of people. You need it quick.
On their property.
Yeah. But the Amish had a different idea. This is gonna be a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath, heated floors.
$1 million home. And with $1 million home comes very expensive taxes and maintenance and upkeep. You imagine, it'd be like the Beverly Hillbillies, when they hit the oil and they became millionaires. Ray would be walking around with a rope for a belt. And Timmy would have a straw hat, but they'd be like millionaires. Anyway.
And everything, log cabin.
6 by 12.
I still don't understand how this works. As I say, heated floors, but that was not it exactly.
Oh, he's taking back the heated floors. That's right.
They said they would never even have to run the heat. That's how insulated, because of
Oh, goodness. So Amish people don't need wood-burning stoves in their house?
the
Interesting.
way they build the house.
Mm-hmm.
And we know they got some extreme winters up here. I think they got hit pretty hard last weekend, and they'll get hit this weekend. They said they would never have to do it. It was going to be amazing, guys.
Was going to be, yeah.
Above and beyond. And they would have done it in hardly no time.
Yeah.
When we left, they said, before we give you an answer, we need.
Here we go. Before we give you an answer, because they probably were going to say no. If this even happened, they're probably going to say no. They want you to leave, and they'll give you a phone call later and say, yeah, we're going to pass. Maybe they want to be polite and not tell you right in front of you. Before we give you an answer, we need to pray. He's going to totally disregard that and say, no, that means yes. So did they say yes? No, they didn't. When Eric came back and said that Amish agreed to build the home and posted that, and then they showed Robert Mass, the big photo op of him hugging Timmy, saying the Amish said they're going to build, and then him over telling Lorraine, come on, when they're telling her the Amish agreed, they didn't. They hadn't agreed to anything. Before we give you an answer, we need to pray. Is that a yes? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. But they're popping champagne corks or whatever, making it sound like that.
Need to pray about it. We have to get together as a community and pray before we do anything like that. And when we left
Okay, so it might be a no.
Robert's like, hey, we got it.
Yeah, when we left there, Robert's like, hey, we got it. Yeah, if he knew him so well, he probably wouldn't have been exiled. But anyway.
Anything like that. And when we left, Robert's like, hey, we got it.
Yeah, tell everybody. Just tell them we got it. That way you can start the donations coming in. And then when you can call it off later tonight, once the donations roll in, you can just blame everything on BJ. But yeah, tell them for now, tell them, yeah. But no, they never agreed. Saying that we do things as a community, we have to pray on it, it's going to take some time. And they might say, no, we didn't like this Eric guy and his Robert friend. We got the heebie-jeebies from him. We don't want nothing to do with him. And there's, yeah, Robert said, yeah. Yeah, you're right. They probably got bad vibes from him. That's probably why they said, yeah, we'll talk to you later. We'll get back to you. If they were excited to do it, they'd say, yeah, yeah. When we left, we're like, Robert said.
Like that. And when we left, Robert's like,
okay, Robert, you better hope that's what the Amish said. Because I'm sure the police are going to go ask that Sam Chump or whatever his name is. They're going to ask the bishop, Sam Chump or Chup or whatever his name is. They're going to ask him. I hope the police will ask him to go talk to this bishop. Yeah. They took it upon themselves to answer for you, Bishop Chup. Yeah, I know you said you're going to pray on it and stuff, and you think, but Eric and Robert said that's a yes. And they went and celebrated and told the whole world that you were going to do it, even though you said you had to think about it. And then they actually collected tens of thousands of dollars for this house that hadn't even been approved yet. Because Robert spoke for the Amish people.
Here, we got it. I was like, well, they said they got to pray. He's like, no. He's like, God.
Oh, they said they got to pray. No. They don't actually pray. They're liars. They just bullshit. They just say this praying thing because they want more money. No, he was like, no. He's like, that's what they do. They always just bullshit. They always just say this, part of the act. No, we got this. They always just say that. They're liars.
We got it. I was like, well, they said they got to pray. He's like, no. He's like, God. He's like, that's what they do. Not going to say yes yet, but he's like, I can already tell you. And so he turned around before we left to show him how serious we were.
Here we go. And he's going to add something to the story. Because he said that he's going to tell you that Robert Mass wrote him a $500 check. Last fall, Eric called it seed money. And he said that he wrote him a check. Now, I called it out. And I said, wait a minute, what happened to that $500? And Eric took note, and he's going to add something. He's going to say, yeah, he ripped that check up. Listen.
And he said, I want to be the first one to donate towards the house and cut a $500 check here on the spot. And he said, hold on to this. So when we get that account started.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you why this also doesn't make sense. Because that bishop, Sam Chump, just told you that we don't know if we're going to do it or not. We have to think about this as a committee. We have to pray on it, and we'll get back to you. Okay, here's a $500 check to put, no. He just told you they don't even know if they're going to do it or not. Yet you handed him a $500 check. Okay.
This would be towards the.
They haven't even said they're going to do it.
Hold on to this. So when we get that account started, this would be.
Whoa! I didn't catch this before. Wow. Remember 5 minutes ago we said that Robert was going to take in that money? What did he just said? I'm going to give you $500 towards their house. Listen to this. And then when you get the account set up, you, Robert.
Before we left, to show him how serious we were, and he said, I want to be the first one to donate towards the house and cut a $500 check here on the spot. And he said, hold on to this. So when we get that account started, this would be towards their house. Check later got ripped up. Know what?
The check later got ripped up. Because I called him out. Wait a minute. If you gave him $500, what happened to that? Hold on. And he said, okay. Okay. Right here. Busted. So Robert writes a $500 check. He hands it to the bishop, even though the bishop just told you he don't know if they're going to do it or not. But Robert goes ahead because he thinks they're lying. So he writes a $500 check. He said Robert handed him the $500 check, and Robert said, what?
The first one to donate towards the house and cut a $500 check here on the spot.
Yep.
And he said, hold on to this.
Robert said, hold on to this. So when we get that account started, Robert is talking. Robert told the bishop, here's a $500 check. Hold on to this. So then when we get the account started.
So when we get that account started, this would be towards their house.
This will be interesting. So when Robert gets the account started, it will go, and that makes no sense. If Robert's going to have the account, then why is he handing the bishop $500 when he didn't even say he was going to do it yet? None of this makes sense. But look at, Robert said, here's 500. So when we get the account set up, you can hand it back to me? I don't know.
The house and cut a $500 check here on the spot. And he said, hold on to this. So when we get that account started, this would be towards their house. Check later got ripped up. Know what happened?
So again,
Right where it was. So we still had 2 more days that was planned to go and search for the Amish, you know?
They were just going to spend 3 days searching for Amish people. But what did they do? They went back to West Virginia, and these two went into adult protection to try to get Timmy. Well, more.
And we accomplished it on day 1. So what ended up happening? We got us some Amish food, went back and we celebrated. And it was like, tomorrow we go find out the other parts. There's permits, there's zoning.
There's taking Timmy away from the family. There's putting people in jail.
Septic and like power, like all these other things we got to figure out. But the main thing, somebody to watch after the money, somebody to build the home. Done.
Wow. So you got Robert to watch after the money and the Amish to build the home. Done. Mm-hmm.
With everything that Minnesotans have been through, you deserve a senator who can promise you this. I never sell Minnesotans out to Trump or let ICE terrorize our communities. Angie Craig can't say that. That's the choice in this election.
Good grief. Eric. Now, I hope my commercials are less. I put the commercials on the most minimal setting that there is. So I hope people aren't getting many commercials, because I took the commercial thing down all the way down to minimum. So hopefully you guys don't get a commercial as much. Right. Why would he have to write a check? That's right. Besides that, what are the Amish going to do with a check? They deal in cash. Yeah, write a check. And he just said, Robert said, here's a $500 check. So when we get the account set up, what account? Right, Robert was going to be the middleman. I hope the police are listening. Oops.
Up on Wednesday. By Thursday at 5 p.m., we had this news. And then Friday was like, let's go check in with certain people. And then on Friday, we're going to do,
Certain people was the adult protection. And think of how convenient this is. Thursday was they went and did this on Wednesday with the Amish. Then they went and celebrated. I bet they did. I bet they celebrated because they thought that $1 million was coming in. And then they had time. They were ahead of schedule, so they went and met with certain people. That was adult protection. Remember? Him and Douche went into adult protection. Now, okay, we got the money coming in for the house. Not necessarily a house, but they got the money coming in from the house. They got these donations they're going to flood in. We're going to grab Timmy and we're going to leave.
References. You picked us up on Wednesday. By Thursday at 5 p.m.
That was the day of the restraining order.
And we had this news.
And he polished off tumbler number 1 with no straw.
And then Friday was like, let's go check in with certain people. And then on Friday, we're going to
check in with certain people, adult protection, to get Timmy.
do,
Friday, they're going to call the deal off. Friday, they're going to tell everybody it's a go, even though it's not. Send your money. And then by Friday night, we're going to tell you when we find out we don't get Timmy, we're going to call it off.
we need to do. And Friday morning was another red flag that I saw.
Oh. Yeah, you've told me about that.
Yep. So just for
You thought Robert gave the check to Eric when he might have said that the first time. And I have clips. I'm not going to go over them tonight because I'm running out of time and battery. But I have clips of other times that he spoke about this Amish, and I bet I have a clip on that.
for context and for timeline, people know what was taking place in the background. So we're above the moon. I mean, we had a smile from Virginia all the way back to West Virginia because they lived
Right, because they thought this was a go. They were going to get all this
in
money.
Virginia, the Amish community that we went to. So we drive back to West Virginia, get back to the Airbnb. I mean, we are stoked. We're like, okay,
And then they got the bad news that you're not taking Timmy back to Georgia.
permits,
That's where I get accused.
Tony, yeah.
Rape.
What's that?
My head down. I'm just.
This is funny. One time somebody told me that Eric leaned down and did a line, right? Like he snorted something. Because if you watch, he ducks down out of sight. And somebody said, I think he did a line. But he said, before I get accused of something, it's just a vape. Listen, watch.
Oh,
I remember when somebody pointed this out.
like, okay, permits,
That's where I get accused.
Tony,
Did I miss it? Before I get accused of something.
Yep. So just for context and for timeline, people know what was taking place in the background. So we're above the moon. I mean,
There he goes. Head down. Now it's funny he said it's just a vape because he vapes all the time. He puts the vape up with one hand and he covers his mouth with the other hand. He always puts two hands up and he vapes, and he does it right in front of everybody. And he does it all the time. And I said it's funny because he vapes and he never blows anything out. But this time he bent over so nobody could see him vape. That's weird because you vape in front of everybody all the time. But this time he felt the need to hide the vape when he vapes out in the open all the time.
in the background. So we're above the moon. I mean, we had a smile from Virginia all the way back.
There he
to
goes.
West Virginia because they lived in Virginia, the Amish community that we went to. So we drive back to West Virginia, get back to the
He knows everybody saw him just bend over. And he started to think, okay, somebody's going to say something.
above the moon. I mean, we had a smile from Virginia all the way back to West Virginia because they lived in Virginia, the Amish community that we went to. So we drive back to West Virginia, get back to the Airbnb. I mean, we are stoked. We're like,
Blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
permits,
Where I get
Stop.
accused
Tony,
of drugs or something.
yeah.
I vape.
Before I get accused of doing drugs, this is a vape. But he never hides the vape until this time. That's weird.
No.
Where I get accused
Tony,
of drugs or something.
yeah.
I vape.
What's that?
With my head down. I'm just.
Plot plan. No, but I mean, so that people know the timeline. Here's what was going to take place on Friday, and then there were two major incidents. One in the morning, and the main one that evening after we got back running around all day.
To the point, that point.
Two major incidents happened that day. That was Friday. First major incident was in the morning when Betty said, "You're not taking Timmy back." Then they left. They got a game plan that they're going to blow this thing up like the bridge on the River Kwai. And they came up with this plan that they're going to get pissed off. They're going to find out when BJ's home. They're going to go there and they're going to get all fake pissed off. They're going to have this fake outrage and they're going to call the deal off because they got told in the morning that Timmy is not going to Georgia with you tomorrow, Eric. And he was livid. He was pissed. And so they left and they thought, okay, we got to get a plan that we're just going to quit. And then we'll forcibly take Timmy with adult protection. And that's what he tried to do. But watch, listen.
Friday, and then there were two major incidents. One in the morning.
Two major incidents, one in the morning.
And the main one that evening after we got back running around all day.
Well, to the point, that point, y'all hadn't met the family. You had met, we can't talk.
He had met Timmy. That's what he almost said. He met Timmy because Timmy went to the adult protection with these two. So you hadn't met the family except for, oh wait, I can't talk about that. Right, except for Timmy because these two had Timmy down in the adult protection.
That evening after we got back running around all day.
Well, to the point, that point, y'all hadn't met the family. You had met, we can't talk.
We can't talk about Timmy.
You had met someone, but you hadn't met the family, hadn't been there to see. And I wanted y'all to see. So
No, they picked up Timmy and they brought him down to adult protection. Because their plan was to legally get hold of Timmy, do whatever legalities he has to do. So when he leaves tomorrow with Timmy back to Georgia, he can just leave him there and he doesn't have to bring him back. But when Betty said no, it threw a wrench in the plan. Yeah.
Hadn't met the family, hadn't been there to see. And I wanted y'all to see. So that next morning when we started out, that's where we went to first, to let them know the news. The Amish agreed.
No, they don't.
And
That's
it
a
was
lie.
kind of, it was my first time being back after the controversy that happened before you guys got there. I was there by myself when.
And think about this. On Wednesday, the controversy he's talking about is he had a big blow up. When he left with his buddies on Wednesday, he had a big blow up with Larry and Betty. He had a big blow up with them. They finally got the, they had gotten the temporary restraining order, but he had a big blow up with Larry and Betty before they left for the Amish. That's what he's talking about. And so when they were going with the Amish and they missed the restraining order on Thursday, the 4th, I'm sure Betty and Larry they've been talking since Eric's been gone. By the time Eric came back, they decided, no, Timmy is not leaving because he's probably not going to come back. If we let Timmy leave, he's probably not coming back. And Timmy probably said, no, I don't want to go. So when Eric was gone, they did a little powwow of their own. Larry and Betty and the whole family probably decided, no, we don't want Timmy leaving. And so he's saying, yeah, the controversy that happened before you guys got here. Right, because he just turned the whole family against each other. All this.
It was my first time being back.
His first time being back since he screamed at Betty and Larry.
And it was kind of, it was my first time being back after the controversy that happened before you guys got there. I was there by myself when that day happened, dude, and that was just one of the If you want to talk about letting the air out of your tank, again, it had already been there 2.5 weeks. I don't know.
And the air out of his tank was when they said, no, you're not taking Timmy. And he thought, oh, yeah? Timmy doesn't have to be there. I'm going to take him whether you want me to take him or not. That's the truth.
About letting the air out of your tank. Again, it had already been there 2.5 weeks. I don't know the time exactly.
Well, that's why we need to hear specifics about what took place on what day. Because when we were gone, something was supposed to take place that Thursday.
Yeah, it was a restraining order. And they knew it. They wanted her to miss it because this was their way out.
Went after 2 attempts going to the court, trying to get a protective order, and couldn't get it. I could not believe.
Because there was no reason for it. If a court denies a restraining order 2 days in a row, there's nothing going on at that house.
Believe or being told someone harboring the phone to where
Someone's harboring the phone. Oh, they should have got a restraining order for that. They're harboring the telephone? What?
very serious medical needs would not be able to contact anybody or do anything. Abuse.
Which never happened, by the way. And I think that's all they have to say about the Amish. I'm going to wrap it up there. We can watch the rest of this tomorrow or whatever, but I think they're done talking about the Amish.
Greater Twin Cities
And
United.
that's where I wanted to end it because we're at 3:21. I just want to make these live streams real long, but that was it on the Amish. You saw all the lies. He's not vaping. It would be yeah, he never blows anything out. When I see people vape, they blow a cloud out. I noticed that when people vape, the cigarette vapors blow a bigger cloud out, but the weed people might smoke. I think it's a cloud too. I don't know, but there's nothing. What did he have a blow up about? I can't remember, but I can't remember. I thought, right, yeah. Let me get back over in the chat so I can see you guys' comments real quick. Goodness. You know, and he did this in front of like 100,000 people. Anyway, there was a comment I wanted to read. It was about Eric Senior commenting on one of your. Yeah, it's all bullshit. You're right, Aquatech. Eric couldn't function without social media. That's right. And how is he going to make a living? And he was jealous. I was jealous that they had to work so hard and they didn't have, video games. Shit, what just happened? Am I still hooked up here? Okay. I thought my stream ended. Man, it's gonna pretty soon. I wanted to see you guys' comments real quick. Hard to do it on the phone here. Yeah, it was a scam from the beginning. I agree that. No, they weren't going to build it for free. That's why they were going to put this big fund of money, right? Yeah. Rose, good to see you. Hockey Mom, good to see you. Let's see. I'm going to go back just for a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. Crafting says stop at Amish store so you can look for something there. It's small. It's a small mall like saying. That's nice. Yeah, we got Amish here too, and yeah, I think it's interesting. It's got good stuff. You hope he goes to prison? I do too. I hope he pays for what he did. Me too, Jenny. Yeah. Makes no sense. None of it makes sense. It's so dumb. I believe that Eric called his friends and said, yeah. And he did. In fact, I told you, I listened to one of his streams earlier, and he said, I called up Mark, and what did I say? He said, yeah, you said you need to get down here. We got a lot of support down here. Well, that means money. I mean, it's obvious. Of course he did. He got all his usual friends that go on all these, scam trips. Yeah. Yeah, and they knew Patrick, it was going to be easy to ace him out. Only paper trail is what YouTube has on the income from his channel. No paper trail? Well, but the donations went into his account. They have to go through AdSense. And through, what else did they have? I think it all went through YouTube and the other platforms. Is there a Facebook trail? Sorry I'm late. Hey, Italian girl. I'm way behind in the stream. Yes, every time Eric was to help family, something bad would happen. Yeah, why would you even say that? I mean, I wouldn't even admit that if I was him. Okay, you guys, every time I deal with a family, something bad happens. And these are good families that have a lot of potential, but somehow I always make something bad happen. I'm just tired of it. I'm a victim. Well, like it or not, Eric has a paper trail accepting donations of the Whitakers through Dad Talk and other Whitaker social media platforms, plus all the earnings were being paid directly. Yeah. Project manager. Project managed the build. Oh, okay. Project. All right. Well, he's a project manager now. He's not just a cameraman. He promoted himself because the cops are watching now. Cops are asking questions, so now he's not the cameraman. It's supportive friend. He's been promoted to project manager. I says a sweeter behind much, and they're just coming up with excuses to be there. Yeah, they are, because me and maybe other people might have called him out too. And the police don't believe their story. He said, "Hey, hockey mom, and Jenny." Yeah, the police, they said the police don't believe their Amish story. I don't care if you don't believe our Amish story. Yeah, you do care. That's why you're trying to cover it right now and make up new things. Yeah, I don't believe there's ever going to be a house either. It was just to get those donations wrote. And that's why he made it extra super complicated and convoluted. So, see, if it was going to be a double wide, it'd be like, okay, call up the double wide place and order one and get a delivery guy here and then set up the power. It'd be done in a week. Well, they could lay a concrete pad down and they could, and hook everything up. But 2 weeks. Here it is September and they hadn't even started on anything. Whitaker's got nothing. And they made sure they got nothing. He went out of his way to make sure they didn't get nothing. Hi, Kat. I remember when Eric was on Dad Talk telling everyone that he's going to have to leave for a while because something came around that's bigger and he could make money off. Exactly, I tell him. I'm pretty sure I have that clip. He did. And then he says, well, I didn't need to be here. I was making good money on Dad Talk. No, you weren't. In the beginning, Eric made it seem like he was there to help the whole family, but then zeroed in on Timmy. He did. He zeroed in on Timmy. And then he was, oh, geez, what are you doing? Cat just fell into a bucket. An empty mop bucket because I mopped the floor earlier. The cat just fell in the empty bucket. It scared me, startled me. That's what that was. Yeah, Eric had no problem walking away with all that money, but recently he's been so depressed because he's not able to make. That's right. He's used to getting 100 and 200,000 windfalls here and there. I mean, if any of us got even a $100,000 windfall, I would think of trying to get another one and another one and another one. But I guess once you see it, how easy it was, he couldn't help himself. Yes, he said that. Yeah. Scam, scam, scam. That's right. It was. Amish wasn't going to build it for free. No, they weren't. Or Eric, it was a scam from the beginning, I believe. So, Kathy, has anyone actually looked at the compound? No, I think his mom owns that. It's probably his mom and dad's property. The kids just like, instead of moving out, they just moved out in the yard and got a double wide or whatever. Douche is just sitting there. Yep. Eric couldn't function without social media. Man, that's how he makes his money. He would never be good enough to in person without it. That's right. Yeah, because if he tried this in person, people pick up on that stuff faster. When you're face to face with somebody online, yeah, you could scam people a lot longer online. I mean, pretend you're somebody you're not. Eric's compound in Georgia, LLC gives you a better tax bracket, or did when at contract nursing. Well, I think yeah, it's not going to protect him from his scams, that's for sure. I think the compound is his mother's name. Did Eric not see West Virginia as a poor state we have? Well, he did pretty good in West Virginia, I gotta tell you that. He made more money than the entire Holler did in their whole life. Mr. Mass was his Amish bank, exactly, Rose. And that's how it was gonna be. And yeah, and that's why Robert Mass, I think that's why he took his page down, because it don't look good when your own son makes log cabins and you're pulling this crap. Yeah. Sorry, my dog is really loud drinking. It's kind of loud. All right. And we'll be sitting there for the rest of their years, yep. Eric maybe thought 50 to 100 Amish were coming. Yeah. Like the Beverly Hillbillies, you know what I mean? I mentioned that earlier. I'm sure they got real bad vibe from Eric and ran the, yeah, if it even happened, yeah. Yeah, those people, because listen, Amish are not influenced by TV or internet, social media. All right, so they're probably better to pick up on people than some. Here's what I was looking at. Eric is definitely worried because I just found out yesterday that he actually responded to the posts I made about him still running the social media platforms. He told viewers to report it to the FBI. Report you? Because he's running these platforms? No, so he's got Facebook, he's got all them videos up, all them Whitakers up on his Facebook. He's got the Instagram up in his name, and God knows what else. Why would he write the check but be holding the money? That makes no sense. And why would you write a check to the Amish? They don't even have a bank. They want cash. I thought Robert gave the check to Eric. Yeah, I don't know. It depends what story you watch. I think I saw Eric holding the check. He is not vaping, it would be visible. I don't know what they blew up about. I forgot. That Margaret Gonzalez had commented on my page, but I found Eric's response on him. Hey, stop! Now you're just being a pig. When he drinks like that, then he'll puke up all the water. I don't know why he does that. Yeah. Who is up there? I don't know. But yeah, so of course he's a little concerned. Who is up there, Eric? I don't know. Hey, Tragic, how you doing? He told viewers if they saw platforms running to call the FBI. Well, the money's going into his bank, though. How are you going to explain that? It's into the FBI. Yeah, look, somebody's making money going to my bank account. I hate that. Don't you hate when that happens, when people start putting money into your account? That sucks. I'm going to call the FBI. I just noticed people are donating into my bank account. Yeah, well, he's got to look like, oh, I didn't know nothing about that. That's crazy. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I could go all night. You know I could. Yep, I'm going to go too. Tie-dye Gammy. He's on the board of the Mass Foundation. What does that foundation do? Anyone know? Well, they take in money. They did. They took in money, but now that foundation's been taken down. So I don't know what's going on there. I think maybe the police gave Robert Mass a little ringy ding ding ding, and he probably crapped his pants and took it down. I don't know. Your guess is as mine. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Thank you, Susan, for the 5 memberships to everybody, and everything else. I'll come back tomorrow. I still have more clips to go through, but anyway, I think that'll wrap it up for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you for listening on the replay. If you've made it this far, you are the MVP. And I just want to thank you all. Thanks for all your awesome comments. Good night. Big hug. Hugs, everybody. Group hug. Big hug. Good night, everybody. Peace out. Good night.